back. Oh, and we're echoing. And we are echoing. Oh, man. This is the Attitude Echo Show. This is not cool. All right, let's get this thing going. Kill some of this music. We go to brands. Bop, bop. All right, here's the, you know what I'm saying is this, and this, simply this. We're back. We'll work for recovery. 2520 North 2nd Street. This is where we have the meetings. This is where we have the recovery. This is where we have the ping pong and the foosball and the football games and the podcast room and the computer rooms and the gym and the weight room and the spiritual rooms. Matter of fact, we have 2 spiritual rooms where we have on like Monday nights and Wednesday night. We have Star, and we've got a lot going on here. And matter of fact, tonight, I want to share something with you guys. Is they are starting back up the reentry project here. It's a pretty big deal. It's a couple-week course. I think it's $3. It's a very minimal fee. It's a $3 fee to come do it. It's called the Reentry Project. It's starting on the 30th of, you know what? It's right around the corner, guys. Starts in 6 days. Week 1, it's intro to computers. Week 2, it's history and beginning of Microsoft. Week 3, it's Word and Excel. Then the following week, they do resumes. The following week, they do internet and emails and the whole recap. Basically, it's a reentry situation where there's a gentleman, John, who donated 12 brand new computers, towers, the whole shebang. It's in this back room right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a door right here that goes into a computer room. And they're starting this. It was very successful last year. They're going to try to do it year-round, but it all depends on who signs up for it. So if you're interested in it, you can reach out to me directly. You see my number scrolling across the bottom. If you know anyone who's looking for some type of computer skills or just trying to get back into the swing of things, like I said, it's called a reentry program. Come check it out down here at Will Work for Recovery, 2520 North 2nd Street. We start this show at 8 o'clock. They run the big meeting in the big room till about 8:15. So that gives me time to sit here, talk to you guys about what's going on. And it's a little awkward. I'm sitting here by myself. Usually I have someone with me. I'm going to be here for about maybe half hour, maybe 45 minutes. Then Maddie's going to take over from there. I was at dinner tonight. It was a second Thanksgiving, and let me wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys all had a great time. Like I shared last week, when you're in the recovery community, there's so many options to go so many places. And if you anything on Facebook, you'd have seen there was a lot going on in the community. I know We'll Work for Recovery had some stuff, 2218, Blaine, Alleno, Fridley, Alleno, New Hope, Alleno did, and then multiple different people. I know the Millers had some stuff going on. Just here nor there, I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. That's where I just left, was Jess's family did their Thanksgiving on this night. And unfortunately, I had to leave a little early to get here to the show, and they all understood. And some of them are listening now, and welcome to the show. If you are listening, either way, though, I'm just hoping that everyone had some type of fellowship this past week. I know there's a bunch of church stuff going on where people were able to join up with the churches and go pass out some food, and there's some great volunteer opportunities out there. But we're here now. We're here today, and we're here to talk about a little bit of this new life we've got going on here. You see my number scrolling across the bottom. Hop on in, grab a seat, put on some headphones, guys. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm Tim.
What's up?
Welcome to the show. I'm Tim.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the show. Throw them headphones on. We'll get to you guys in just 1 second. Headphones right there. And get close to the mics. Perfect. So other than that, just come on down, check us out, 2520 North 2nd Street. If you're in the neighborhood, come on, check us out. Just come grab your spot. It's on mic. But yeah, this is where we do the show from now. 2520 North 2nd Street. We'll Work for Recovery. Every day of the week, they got meetings going on. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, they're very big meetings. Tuesday and Thursday, there's a little smaller. Every day of the week, 1 o'clock. Come down and check it out. There's a conventional meeting at 6:30 a.m. every day of the week too. Sunday fun day. They do the football game. They cook up some marvelous food for like $3. Whatever the case is, welcome to the show. Share this show. It is interactive. If you got questions for my guests when they're on, you can put them right here in the comments section, or you see my number scrolling across the bottom. If you don't want your info put out there, feel free to reach out to me directly. All right, let's start chopping this up. Who do we have in the house? What's your name, brother?
I'm Luis.
Luis, welcome to the show, Luis.
Thank you, sir.
I go by Fred Davis.
Fred Davis.
And I'm Paris.
Paris. Well, welcome, Paris. This your first time on the show, all of you?
Yes, it
Most
is.
definitely.
All right, so let's start with you. How do you know about Will Work for Recovery? How'd you hear about this place?
Well, I'm on a North Star. They are a treatment place.
Okay.
They bring me here by first time. Yeah, North Star.
Nice, North Star.
Yeah, so they brought me here by first time like 3 weeks ago, probably more.
All right.
And then I'm an outpatient right now, and we decided to come here tonight.
Oh, I'm glad you came. How'd you hear about the place?
Pretty much in the same boat as Louise, man. We used to go to the same treatment facility, North Star Behavioral Health.
So here's the question I have for you, man, is what was your first thought walking into this place? Like, what was because I know a lot of, this is not conventional. This ain't like the normal meeting facilities.
Okay, you used the word normal, and I was going to use that word myself, man.
Get after it.
I walked in here, and I'm like, damn, man, feel good to be back to normal, man, and be around normal people, you know, instead of just being out there kind of lost, you know. So it's most definitely a blessing, man.
Right.
So feels good.
What would you tell someone about this place if they were like, I heard about Will Work for Recovery? What's it like? How would you explain this place?
This place.
This place.
This exactly place. Hold
Yes.
on, let me put this into.
How would you
like this
explain
thing.
it?
Amazing. This exactly place is amazing. I mean, it's the one that I like more than the other kind of places. I mean, I'm not trying to devaluate the other places, but this is great. I mean, it looks like a party right here. You know, it looks like if I'm in a bar, but it is healthy. No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing, and I love it. I mean, the vibes that I feel here is completely awesome.
Still grooving.
And I love the way it feels. You know, thank you very much for inviting us.
Can you hear in your headphones?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
All good?
Completely good.
Yep.
Because I know last week we turned them down a little. I didn't get here early enough. Like I said, I was at a Thanksgiving dinner. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, my Thanksgiving was really good. I spent most of my time with my family, and it honestly was really great because last year, I'm probably one of the youngest in the group here, and I was out bar hopping at 19 years old getting tacos. So it was actually a great, different experience for me.
You're bar hopping getting tacos?
I went and got tacos, and I went bar hopping and watched the Vikings game. But it's that's what I was doing in my old life for sure, the old lifestyle that I had for myself. But it was great. I spent time with my family. I cooked food with my mother. Called my dad, who lives in a different state, and I got to go to two different Thanksgivings. I went to my boyfriend's boss Thanksgiving, and then I was here with my family. I was not able to make it to Miss Gracie's Thanksgiving, but there is always next year, and I'm not afraid to go.
Yes, there is always next year. And the longer we stick around in these rooms, the more we get to experience this stuff.
Exactly.
Maddie just hopped in. You guys see her on camera off to my left. She'll be taking over the show in about 10, 15 minutes. She's typically was supposed to be the host tonight, but I threw a monkey wrench in that. And that's all good. You guys will get a little bit of Tim, a little bit of Maddie, a little bit of everybody.
We love everybody, so.
So tell me, how do you know about Will Work?
So I actually found out about Will Work through Myers, and a lot of people know who Myers is. He owns his own sober living. He's actually somebody who watched me grow up since I was a baby. So it was kind of nice to have somebody that's known me for my entire life to be able to be there. A part of my recovery life is too, because he was there when my family struggled with sobriety and stuff, and he was a part of those people that was in that same group, and it's just great to see everybody grow. First time I came was St. Patty's Day, and I just have always kept coming back. It's, for the longest time before I got into this group, I was playing group roulette. Let's just say that,
Group roulette?
Yeah. So, you go to your groups, you see who you like, and most of the time my problem is that people liked me too much, and I didn't like that, So, because I'm here for my recovery. I'm not here for anything else. What I'm trying to find is my own self-love. And this is a place to really find that and find good unity and community with people. You walk through these doors and you feel like you're actually loved by people. Like people truly care about you. And if you're not here, they will text and call you and be like, where have you been? And it's like, hey, I'm still doing okay.
You most definitely can tell when it's genuine.
Exactly.
I want the three of you to talk about higher power.
Okay. I think higher power is really important. For the longest time, I struggled with that for most of my teen years up until I actually got sober. You know, because for the longest time, I feel a lot of people can relate with this is like when you are struggling so much with like how cards have been dealt to you, you think that you're a joke in like God's eyes. Like you think everything's like, you know, you think your life is a joke and you're one of the biggest jokes to him. But once you actually start to give that power back to him, because we get in that mindset of like, well, I have the power and I have the choice of what I can do. And then you see where you go with that. Like you could be like in major trouble with the law or just like have not the best relationships with yourself and your family. And it's like, once I gave that up, I've had the best relationship with myself and my family. And I honestly am just so happy to be like, you know, be able to give up my power that I thought I had to my
I know a
higher power.
lot of people struggle when it comes to that higher power thing. Like,
Oh, most definitely.
go ahead. Like they talk about higher power and they think instantly God.
Well, it's like higher power can be for whoever and whatever, because it's like me, I'm Native American. So like God isn't something that we talk about. We talk about just actual like our like great spirit. It doesn't matter who it is. If you like whatever gets you going and gets you up during the day and you have something to believe in it. That's what I truly believe is like,
That's true.
you know, because for most of the time when I first got in recovery, that was something I struggled with the hardest. Like that was one of the hardest things I had to struggle with. Like I was cool with like, you know, just getting into the system of like getting to groups, being there, being present. But like the hardest part was honestly to give that power up to somebody else.
Do you have a higher power in your life today? And remember, there's no right or wrong answers. And I always try to tell people, pretend we only got mics. Like, it's just us chopping it up. Like, do you have, like do you practice that shit right now? Are you at that point in your recovery where, like, you're like, oh, I got to go to church or I got to talk, I got to have a God in my life right now? Or is that even not part of your recovery yet?
No, I did grow up as a Christian.
Okay.
I kind of lost touch with that area of my life due to drug-induced
Right.
bad decisions.
Here, maybe
you
this
know?
will make it easier for you. Like, I lost all my faith when I picked up a needle. Period. So, like, don't let that be a shameful. If it is, like, I hear you got quiet when you're like, but like, that's most everyone in this room. Like,
Yep.
we lose touch with what our higher power was because we found something we thought was better. Or I did. I'm not speaking for you.
I won't necessarily say
Yeah.
that it's better, but you know, the feeling that it gives our body in a way, but
It's the enemy.
in all
Like, it's the
reality,
enemy, you know?
you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just we lose touch in them areas, man, and lose ourselves along that journey, you know, and we kind of forget to love ourselves, take care of ourselves, and now I'm on a path where I make that priority. You know, one of my main priorities is not to change the subject or hop off track or
Come on
whatever,
with it.
but
Come on.
God is down on me to love myself, man, so I can learn to love others, you know, and I'm just grateful that He gives me a second chance at life, man, to correct this, man, and do it all over again, because you know, we are here to
You've been here the whole
not
time.
necessarily make mistakes, but we make mistakes, and
We got to learn to
not
love
perfect.
ourselves before we can love anyone or anything else.
That's
usually,
true to me,
usually.
so.
And I know we got some higher powerhouses in the house right now.
But I do to answer your question, I do believe in a higher power, and I'm learning to put God first, man. So
And that's how we do
definitely-
this.
So.
Talk to me about your side of that.
My higher power, for me, my higher power is my God. But, you know, if I have to make a confession about it, is that I understand that I forget about my higher power when I was on all this time that I've been on my addiction, you know? And my higher power is the one that give me the extra strength that I need to try to control myself and try to keep my life in the way that is going to give me better results, you know?
Right.
So that one for me is my God. And I have to realize that at some point, when I was thinking only each and every time on my addiction, I was becoming my addiction in my God. I was kneel down in front of my addiction So
was a new God.
yeah, you know, that was my real God on that moment, you know. So once that I realized that thing, I understand that I have to break all these that I've been constructing with this addiction, and kneel down only in front of my God, because this was I see this like if I got a worm inside me that was controlling me, you know, like I was at the end trying to get rid of this thing, but I just couldn't, you know. I used to think like I have to, at the same time that I was there doing it, you know. It was incredible. It feels so stupid for me. So once that I break myself and kneel down only in front of my God and put on His hands, because once that I first started my recovery and they put me an outpatient, I forgot about my God again. You know, I make this mistake. Then I try to make my decisions by myself, and even if I keep myself out of drugs, I made another mistake and I went to jail again. So I realized that get sober is super important, keep sober is super important, but it's not everything. I have also to learn how to live, and for that I need my God to command me. So that's the way I explain it, sir.
No, and that's all good. I'm Tim, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
You don't have to call me sir.
All right, thank you, Tim. I got it.
No one, sir.
All right, sir.
I get it. I get it.
All right, all right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I get it. It's all
You're not
good.
going in cups, man.
Right.
No,
right.
I'm sorry. I'm
We don't
so
have to live
used
that
to
way
this,
no
you
more.
know.
You're all good. No worries. No worries at all. So, real quick, I want to hear about you guys' gratitude. Like, with this new life of recovery and the way you get to live nowadays with a clear head, hopefully with a clear head, what are you grateful for? Batters up.
I said it before, man. I'm grateful to have a second chance at life, man. You know, to correct myself, man. And I'm grateful to have gratitude to me is, man. And I try and do give gratitude back, man. You know, like going to treatment in my treatment facility. You know, without them asking me, you know, I like help cleaning, asking people do they need help or whatever, you know, or go out picking up trash or whatever, wherever I can. If I can't leave the property, you know, just something to give, you know, that's my own little way of kind of helping out in the community, you know, because I only can go so far right now,
Right,
you
right,
know.
yeah. You still got to worry about number one. You really
So,
do.
I just graduated from North Star Behavioral Health, so we wasn't able to leave the property at all, you know, so now.
What's curfew right now for you guys?
10 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, so we're good to have you on right now. All right, so no, I just always want to make sure that, because I get some people at Salvation Army, they got to be back by 9, and I have them sitting here and I find out they didn't get on, and I'm like, damn, I'm sorry I didn't know. So other than that, I appreciate you. Go grab that fella in the yellow and tell him he's up next.
All right, here
Tell
we
me
go.
what you're grateful for, brother.
All right, first of all, bro, tell me, where can they listen to us?
My man, you can find us on. Look at
Yeah.
You got me on blast. Listen, you can find us. It's scrolling about along the bottom, but you can find us through the Facebook page of Will Work for Recovery, the YouTube page of Will Work for Recovery, 2218's YouTube page, but it's all Attitude for Gratitude. The name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. So WWFR, Attitude for Gratitude, on any of those platforms. YouTube's an easy one.
All right.
But definitely you can go to Facebook. If you go to We'll Work for Recovery's Facebook page, it'll pop up right now for you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Now tell us about your gratitude before
All right.
you pop off.
Yeah, I'm grateful for God to let me understand what I was telling you, to make me understand that it was completely necessary for me, I guess, to lose everything, So then I can try to find the new way, the new way to see the life, you know.
Right.
Because once that I lost everything, once that I have nothing else to keep trying to keep on me, then I can clearly see. Then I clearly see that I kind of lost my family. I mean, they get away from me, but now I understand it is better for them. So I'm grateful that God allows me to see the things on this way and understand that now I can be a better influence for my family, you know.
Right.
A better. I mean, I can do better things. I'm sorry about my English, bro. I'm a Mexican.
it, bro.
I'm trying to do my best, guys.
No, you're all good.
All right.
Here's the last question I have. Will you come back on the show?
Of course, bro.
Every
This is
Friday
amazing.
night. Every Friday night.
Yeah, thank you very much, bro.
Go grab Derek. Derek's
Yep.
up next. Hey, you guys are good. Don't worry about being quiet. We got good headphones, good microphones. As long as we got our headphones on, audience don't have to worry about it. You're all good. Chop it up in the field. Hi, Mandy. Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
I can't see my face.
Neither can I.
Yeah, but look. You see where my hand's in front of your face? You see where my hand's in front of your face? Here, let's make it a little better. So, you went to movie stars. There, is that better?
I guess.
Yeah, that's a little better.
I guess.
Next time you'll take that seat.
Okay.
We can see her.
Yeah, you can see each other. If you come on dying, you can even see the back of Maddie. You can see the little shorty in the pink. You can see everything.
So where can I find this podcast online?
On any of the you search
YouTube?
YouTube. We'll work for recoveries YouTube.
Look who's on YouTube.
And the Facebook pages. Are you really giving a little infant candy,
Facebook
Jacob?
famous.
Yeah, man, they love candy.
Yeah, but not that young. They ain't got teeth yet. Oh,
Wait.
I meant okay. Yes.
Jacob, give me some candy.
Yeah. Who are you, young man?
My name is Derek Casey.
Welcome
and
to the show, Derek. And what?
I'm a recovering addict.
Welcome. I'm gonna get you some questions. I didn't introduce this fella. Who are you?
I'm Jacob.
Jacob. Welcome back to the show, Jacob. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a 36-year-old male from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Like long walks on the beach.
I grew up over northeast Minneapolis,
I
south
bet
side,
for
north
100.
side, St. Paul, over here, over there. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So, all right. I want to hear about what your gratitude looks like.
You're good. You're good. Well, my gratitude, honestly, it's pretty simple. At least for me, it's a little hard for some, and I get that, but it's a hard thing to find, especially when I wasn't sober. So my gratitudes is I got clothes on my back. I have a place to sleep. I have food in my belly, and I made it to 10 months sober today.
Oh, hell no. American Pie Pizza's in the house. They come. They're our partners. They come bring us pizza every week. You need pizza? Go get some pizza.
Will
look,
do.
look, people
Later.
smash it. Hey, young William, will you grab me a couple slices? Corner pieces.
Will you grab me a couple
pieces?
slices?
Some
Thank you, buddy.
slices.
Everybody at
But
this table needs a slice.
I know, for real.
So, Maddie, after I let her go, you're taking over.
Yep.
Seriously. So
But-
go ahead. What's your gratitude? 10 months.
But it's just like, just finding gratitude in the things, having a connection with myself, having connection with my family. That's like the biggest thing for me, at least, is like just having a connection within myself and be able to like grow past like all those like negative thoughts and just negative like relationships with people. It doesn't matter if it was friends, family, or just within myself. I'm just grateful that I'm able to grow past that, feel the feelings that I need to, and not mask it anymore with like things that were just making it worse.
Damn, see, this is why the way the show used to be, Jake knows, we used to be on for an hour and a half per person. And I'm not, like, what you just talked about, I want to open up a whole conversation about.
I'll come back,
Like,
you
I
know?
do. We're going to probably, what we are going to do, this is all just test time and
Yeah.
trials with cycling through people every 10 minutes or
Yep.
so. But we'll probably do once a month, have a guest or two on, or even twice a month. It's all up to the audience. So anyone listening, like, whatever you guys want, let us know. And
Well,
that's
you've
what
been
we'll
trying to
implement.
get me on here for a
I
while.
know.
And now I'm here finally.
And now we switched it to
Take
5
advantage of that
minutes.
opportunity.
I know. I was like, you kept telling me. You never texted me.
Listen. This dude. Batters up. You're in her spot.
Thank you,
for
Tim.
coming
I'll be
on.
back.
I appreciate you. I love you. Come
I love
back.
you too.
All right, Jacob. Derek.
Hey,
Tim.
hey.
I know you guys heard us talking about a higher power thing earlier, and I'm wondering about your guys' faith. How does that play into your recovery today? Because I know I got some warriors of God in front of me and to the side of me, I believe. And if not, correct me. Talk to me. Come on.
Faith for me has definitely changed since I've been in my recovery.
We
Go ahead.
I blocked myself.
Test.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so faith for me has definitely been a huge part of my recovery.
Yeah.
You know, when especially whenever there's certain things that God wants me to let go of, that may just be personal for me.
How do you define or how do you figure that out though?
So it's kind of through prayer, definitely. Prayer and getting to know His voice, you know. And
I got a goofy question. I know I keep cutting you off. I have a goofy question about that. What does that mean, prayer? We got people that don't know. When you say
it means like this.
It means having a relationship with God.
You and me sitting right here talking talking, whatever it may be about.
It means having a relationship with God. You know, like
This switch off thing is just weird.
he can't hear anything, can he?
I'm distracted doing this.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Whatever, same difference.
Well, I'll explain. Well, it means having a personal relationship with God. Like the first time I got a year clean, sober, all I was putting my faith into was staying sober. And I used to work out a lot and stuff like that. You know, I was thinking as long as I don't use again, everything's going to be all right. But once I found God and I started wanting more of God, that happened before I got sober. So I wanted more of God. So I like stopped smoking weed, stopped doing everything I was doing because I wanted to pay attention to his instructions clear. So I had to develop a prayer life, had to build a relationship, had to learn about him.
And see that
Repent
right,
from my sins.
that right there is the substance of things hoped for. So it's an actual substance. His faith that brought him out and where he wanted to go. That's like even still now. There's just certain things, you know. Like I said, there's certain things that may or may not matter to people, but really matter when it comes to our personal relationship with God, because there may be something that I'm holding on to that is keeping me from being a loving and caring person that I may or need to let go of.
You're getting in the way of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's ultimately
Well,
us that
I
gets
just
in the way.
love having some type of standard to live by because I want to be like the next guy in the room or something. That's gonna end one day. Sometimes my favorite. I don't even like them. So
Right.
if I got a standard to keep striving by, or if maybe I don't like the way the reactions I'm getting, I change some things about myself. Maybe people will respect me more. But instead of doing that, I could walk into that room and just think to myself, I can do the best I can and just love people and love God. And that keeps me going because it gives me something higher to grab onto without having to think, oh, I need to do this, or I need to show this person I can do more, when actually God will just give you more.
And amen. That comes with sacrifice. You know, we think of the definition of love, especially for our families, those around us. So sometimes I just want to tell people what's directly on my mind, but ultimately I'm sacrificing how I feel for how others feel. And once that change began to happen, I realized, like, that faith that there's something more than just me that's keeping me where I'm at today.
Right.
And I believe that comes with relationship. Because don't get me wrong, throughout my year, there was days I was literally running on faith. I mean, I was reaching out to a drug dealer, you know, trying to, but God would intervene with that, you know. And there would be and this is throughout my period of recovery, you know. There's days that I know that it wasn't me that kept me clean. At all.
Now, here's the thing, and I know Maddie's got the whole seat, and Maddie, I did send you, the questions are out the bottom, so if you run out of things to talk about, I got a grip of questions, but, no, Maddie's going to be my co-host, we switching off here and there, but Jake, now, there's some questions I asked that are pretty silly to us, but there are people out there listening that have no clue about this stuff, and that's why I say, how do you implement your recovery into your faith into your recovery, and I think you guys both have kind of shed a good light on it. And when I said, well, what does that mean to pray? Some people don't understand it. Just talking
God,
you're right next to your higher power.
He can handle it. Believe me, there was days before I even came to believe where I would be literally middle finger up in the sky, all drunk, all messed up, you know,
blaming.
F you this, that, and this. But that's the good thing about God, or my higher power, is he can take that. He can work with that because I'm initiating some sort of faith. It doesn't, we don't have to fully understand, because we never will. I will never fully understand, and my mind will always try to put him in but if I'm engaging with him, that is the most sincere act of faith, whether I'm yelling at him, whether I'm telling him how I'm feeling this day, whether I'm saying, yo, God, I have anger and resentments against this guy, and he ain't even done nothing to me.
It happens.
And I don't even know why I feel the way I do. But then that opens up for the spirit to come
Let me ask
in.
you a question.
Wait, nope, I'm cock blocking real quick. I'm blocking real quick. So I know, I'm sorry, I'm not the wordsmith I used to be. All right, I'm gonna vacate this spot. Don't feel offended when Maddie just be like, all right, next, and boot you. I told her she's got to kick people off and cycle through. All right, back at it. She had a question. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me be here.
Love you, Tim. Good to see you.
Tim, please don't be gone long. Okay, how do you hear God?
How do I hear God?
So okay, the other day I had this thought, right? Like my higher power is the same as your higher power. And the other day, like I hear, like my old sponsor used to always be like, listen to God, and I'm like, I've always believed in God, but I was always like really trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna hear him, like, and obviously that doesn't happen. But I have these thoughts, like all of a sudden my mind changes. And I'm like, oh, it's clear, and then I feel this way. And I'm like, is that God, like, talking through me?
Peaceful. Number one, he's very peaceful.
Yes.
God is a gentleman. He
Yeah.
will not force himself, and anything comes with stillness. And that's why it's so important for us to cultivate our patience and long suffering, because a lot of times my emotions and feelings, whenever my emotions and feelings get triggered, that's another driving force right there. So whenever we develop that relationship, that's whenever we really get to hear his voice and know what he's speaking and asking us to do.
Yeah.
And so, like, and for me, like I said, a huge part of like decisions in my life, whenever I go to make them, if there isn't peace,
Then it's not.
I know it's not of God.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
There's definitely a lot of things I think God was pushing me to do, like things that I'd probably go against my better judgment of doing, but then I pray on it all night. It's like this thing is pushing me, so it's like nothing that any human advice could give you, because you're going to get all these different responses from everywhere. But I just started following God. I took discipleship class at ICCM Life Center. Now I'm interning there. Now I take a van of like 30 people out every night to serve homeless people. We go out like twice a day. I do street ministry. Damn. I pray for people.
Come here.
I started my own business. I didn't even have a driver's license. I would take buses everywhere, and now I drive like 5 different vehicles a day sometimes. You know what I mean? I fill up all the church vans and all that, and people come to me and like, how can you follow God? And I can just give them my experience and my strength and hope, and just tell them to put their faith in. Just put your faith to work, because it's going to work as long as you believe.
Yeah, it really, like, a lot of times too, like I'm really at this point in life where I'm understanding who God is, like truly understanding who He is, and who
Really
I
trying to get to know
who I want to strive to be like. And now there's things of this world, man. There's just things.
Craziness.
Yeah, things of this world. The more closer I get to God,
The more crazy.
the more I see the darkness in the world. Like, and this is just for me. This ain't for whoever. But like for listening to rap, like heavy hardcore trap rap music and all that stuff, and I'm beginning to connect these dots, because when I first came in here and they're talking about changing, finding a new way to live. Now I'm at a point in my relationship where I understand that old me's dead and gone, and that gives room for more life and more love to grow in and through me, and to be that substance that other people can see and be like, oh man,
And you were the one who could tell. Like, first and foremost, you could tell.
like, man, he has. Wow, where'd he get that?
The music thing, though, like I hear people say that a lot, where they're like, I don't listen to like my old rap music or whatever, but like I feel like I listen to a bunch of different things, but I just look at it as like, I don't know, because my mom always said this, garbage in, garbage out, and I agree to a certain point, like it's just.
Well, I believe we have the power to manifest.
That's true.
Whatever, our minds are one advanced computer system. That's why they like even a 12-step program. It's a program to retrain our brain to think.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whenever we open up the Word of the Bible, transform and renewing of the mind, I begin to realize, like, okay, now I got to carry myself in a holy manner.
Yeah.
Now I got to strive to walk in purity,
Yeah.
which definitely, especially like I said, nowadays, purity is a very rare thing. Even to walk in holiness and just love people, regardless of who or what they're doing or what their motives is really hard. But now it's like, okay, I understand who he is. I understand what's going on, and now I chose this path, And yes, of course, I have the option to turn around, but for me, I know that he definitely exists. For me, I know because
You've seen it in front of your eyes.
yeah, and not only that, I'm a living testimony of his power, of what he can do and who he.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A year and 4 months ago, I was out in the streets banging dope and
Right.
robbing people and just like all kinds of crazy stuff. And then we see this thing where people come in, they find a higher power, then they begin to pray. And that was one of the hard.
There's a new light in them.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things. One of the hardest things for me to do is I had to fight with myself, literally 5 or 10 minutes, just to say, God grant me the serenity, or God let Thy will be done throughout the day. Saying the third step prayer for
Oh,
me.
100%. I know, me too. At work, people be testing me, and I just am like, God grant me the serenity to change.
Well, and now I'm just like, praise Jesus, thank you, Lord, just bless them, Lord. I pray that they're financially blessed, Lord Jesus, and if there's anything in my heart, like, remove that stuff, because I don't want to be at all who I used to be. I'm ready to walk into this new life that has been ordained or is His purpose for me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you reap what you sow. So that's the hard thing is not judging or whatever, but it gets easier as you go along, because after a while you just don't even care if someone offended you, because if someone offends me, the next thing I'm thinking about is what I got to do in Christ, what I got to do with the next thing. So
Yes.
I'm not thinking about how to react to this person, but I'm thinking, what can I do to get me closer to God, and reacting in such a way that I'll be, walking a righteous path, and which keeps me going, which keeps me growing, which fine tunes myself. And when I listen to rap music that's not so good, sometimes I realize I shouldn't be doing, I could be better, but it's a temptation. I still do it.
Yeah.
But
It's a
I could fine tune myself.
But that's where His strength is shown, is through our weakness. And that's like where they talk about the character defects in the 12 steps. Let your higher power remove your character defects.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it in my own will. I can
Right,
sit
because
there
His thoughts
try
become your thoughts. That's why it's called the living word.
Yes,
and that's where His power is perfected in our weakness. Is like, okay, because now things that I used to hate or used to not hate, the word of the world, say anger or reacting or violence or whatever, now they're a burden to me. What I used to indulge myself in is a burden for me now, because I know that I want to please my higher power, and it's like, God, take this from me. I don't want this. I don't want it.
Question came in.
I don't see the question to me.
Show start sharp.
Why do I see the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got to hit right here. Tap on that thing with the number 1.
Oh, here we go.
There
Mad
we go.
Dog. Oh, that's my boy, Dustin.
Mad Dog in the house.
Okay, Tim, it's his own question. What a dork.
He
How long? He said, someone put a question in. Miss Gracie, how long have you been clean, and what's your favorite thing about recovery? Come closer to the microphone.
I'm good.
Yep.
All right. Miss Gracie, I've been clean 7/21/18,
All right.
5.5.
That where the applause button
Ooh,
is.
it's that top lit up button.
What recoveries look like for me? It looks like a blessing. Cause I'm just sitting here. I was thinking about what I'm going to say. I'm thinking about. It's very exciting for me because right now I did not know I was going to be here to even be in a minute have 6 years clean.
Yeah.
My life is so amazing now. This year have been so wonderful for me. Thanksgiving was amazing.
She threw down. She cooked so much food, you guys. You have to go. I mean, it was.
I heard it was
love
delicious.
I
And
love
her kitchen was still clean. It was crazy.
It was amazing, and the people that made my Thanksgiving so, overwhelming. It was beautiful. I enjoy myself 24/7, but the thing is, with my recovery, I try my best to be there for others and help others. That's the only way I know. That's the only way I could keep my recovery if I have to give it away. And if I have to give it away for me to stay clean, okay, you can have it. But, and then another thing, like I said, I've been blessed all this year. My job came to an end. I thought it was going to be sad. But that's why I tell you, this year is a good year. I got a call today
It's a
for
very
a
good
job.
year.
I started right after New Year's.
It's kind of cool to see how like you were pretty anxious about it at first, and now you've just really came to accept it and see the positives from it. And you've got to take time for yourself and for your
Yes.
family.
What was the
She gets to
job you
go-
got? Where'd
I
you get
get
a
to
job?
go to St. Louis this year and visit my daughters and them. I haven't seen them in 5 years.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going home for Christmas and see my babies and my grandkids and stuff. I wanted to make sure I was all the way there before I went back to St. Louis,
Yeah.
because that's where my addiction started at. And it ended here, which was a good thing.
But
That's a real powerful thing to get to see.
yeah.
You like how many people you get to love on, Miss Gracie, and how many people like you really affect people's lives in such
She was
a
just
way that nobody like you just feel the presence of love upon you, like just like
Yeah.
that missed love that I used to have before I started doing drugs.
And that's what I think about that all the time, because before I even started this journey on this using and all that, my life was so compassionate. I took care of my two daughters, Then my son came. When he came, that's when everything started going downhill. But you know what? I thank God each day for my son being here. It don't have nothing to do with me. It was me, my doing, my drugging, my mishap. In the process of all that, I lost my mom. That was my best friend. And, it's going to get a little harder in the next couple of months because our birthday is January 11th, and I struggles a little bit on our birthday. But it ain't about using, it's about a happy thing. And I'm just, I love Woodwork for Recovery. That's my home group. I do the ladies' meeting. I love it. It's just amazing. Paul and Carolyn play a major part in my heart. They know that. They know I love them to death.
All right, guys. So what's one thing you're grateful for? Even though you just basically said everything you're grateful for, but
I'm grateful for just being alive.
I'm grateful for my life, and I'm grateful for everybody that I have supporting me, and I'm grateful to be able to support others.
thank you. That's awesome.
I'm grateful for open-mindedness and willingness to,
Yeah.
and having the courage and the honesty to actually do this stuff. I've never known what that was before until I, started working the 12 steps. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Could I
Well,
say
thank you
one
guys.
thing?
Never
Yeah, of
would have made
course.
it.
These two guys that's at the
Never
table,
would have made it.
I've been around them since
Never
they've been coming
would've
in.
made-
They struggle a little bit, but they on
What you
fire
mean?
now. And I am so proud of them.
we're proud of you too, Miss Gracie.
Thank you guys. I appreciate
They mad at you.
y'all.
We didn't get no
All
pile.
right, will you come back on the show? Will you come back on the show? Like some other time, would you guys come back?
Yes, we will.
Right now?
I
Like
promise you.
Another time, would you guys come back?
I promise you I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I can't make no promises, but
Well, okay,
We'll
let me
see.
rephrase the question. Would you?
oh yeah, I definitely would.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Next.
Who are you guys?
My name's Nick.
Hi, Nick. Jimbo?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's enjoying pizza.
I'm Nick.
You're Nick.
Yeah. Hey,
We
Nick.
got Nick.
So,
We got Nick and Nick. All right, guys. So,
Looking clean, man.
clean as a whistle.
Nick, I'm gonna ask you this question since you were the one that brought it up last week.
Oh, come on. We're starting deep.
Yeah, we're starting deep. What would you like your legacy to look like?
Legacy. I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good question.
You know, you want people, my legacy is going to be somebody who, there's a lot of things. It's not just recovery. I'm a family guy. I love my family, and I've made some mistakes in the past, but, I've grown and I've learned from my mistakes. And if I were to pass, I would think that my family and my friends would say that I put everything I could into my family, my friends, into this new life that I've built.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody in my life would be proud of me.
Yeah.
They'd be proud of the person that I've become. And, they would say that, I mean, last week you guys were talking about, oh, well, it was like, it was really hard for people to say what they thought their own legacy would be. And I was thinking about it is like, you have to really think about yourself and do some deep diving on, the good things in your life that, I know that like we would say, or like last week, people would be like, well, let me say some things for you.
And Jenna.
Yeah, okay. I'm a great fisherman.
Jen's on
You know.
here. Yeah.
I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
I've put a lot into my career.
Yeah.
I've had ups and downs in it, and I don't want to fail. I've always been in the past. I've always defaulted to failure, like that was okay. Failure was okay, or that was the way of life. That was a core belief that I was a failure.
Yeah.
And that's not a core belief for me anymore. I want to be a success story. And people will smile when they think of me when I do pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
100%. Jen says you're the best big brother ever.
Yeah, she'd say that.
To know him is to love him. Jimmy.
What's up?
He's a leader. Oh, you are a leader.
I try.
Jimmy, what would you want your legacy to look like?
Really big excavator. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't even really. What's that even mean? Legacy.
If you were to pass today, what would people think of you? What would people think of like?
They'd probably say something about my humor, my beard.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
You do
Oh,
have
the
a
guy
sexy
with
beard.
the beard?
Yeah.
I know a guy who can sell you some beard oil if you need some.
Yeah.
Big Bill.
Big Bill.
Oh,
He
Big
doesn't even have
Bill's
to
got
sell
the
it. He
beard
just
oil.
gives it away.
He gives it.
Don't tell anybody that. No, I do use it though. It's good stuff. No, my legacy. I don't know. I have always, ever since I came back into this second round within this stint of recovery that I've been through the last 9 years, I say second round as if working an actual program and actually doing the things that I know I need to do in order to get a wholesome brand of recovery, if you would, what you would want to say. It's just being a better version of myself. So I see myself when I pass away. I guess as far as legacy go and how other people see me, I'm not really a guy that really gives much two shits anymore about how other people see me, but instead it's how I'm going to provide for my kid, and it's more the impression that I left on others. I think I'm more concerned about leaving no bad notes
Yeah.
Amen.
than writing bad tickets, because I can easily manipulate things and try to find my intention, my own paycheck through anything that I do, and it's one of the worst character defects that I have. Very selfish. So I remember my sponsor. I mean, he was talking at another meeting, and he said something about coming to the program isn't about being. It's not a selfish program or a selfish program. It's about how are you going to get out of yourself.
Yeah.
And I really thought about that, and I'm like, man, that makes so much more sense. And it's always been derived into things, women, money. And the last couple of years, I've really been trying to search how to be better in the small things, I guess. I don't know. And moving up to Coon Rapids and with Dustin and getting to be around all you guys, and it's kind of reminded me of the recovery I had when I was down in Chaska. And I got detached from everything by going on the road and chasing money and doing all that and thinking I'm okay. But at the end of the day, it can all go away really quick. And I've been in and out of recovery. I'm what they call a chronic relapser. Started at 13, I'm 33. But I've found that the best joy is just coming into these rooms and trying to help the next person, because every time I keep helping myself and I'm not even just making coffee, just doing the smallest things. So, I mean, as far as leaving a legacy, just knowing my son, I have this sense in my mind now that if I was to leave, I'd leave on a hell of a lot better terms than I did before I got clean.
Yeah.
And
100%.
just the connections, the better connection, the better bond I have with him now in this last 2 years. I'm actually present. I'm not taking work over play. Being with him and hanging out with him and doing things that I know I need to do to be a better father.
Yeah.
Not 100%, and I don't think I ever will be. There's no book on it, but
Right.
I'm doing everything in my power to be better. And it comes out in just making coffee, showing up, answering the phone. I probably need to work with steps with my sponsor a little better, but it's a little things.
I
Just
should
trying to
probably
get
do
better.
that too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I understand
should
this is a
probably get a
place.
sponsor,
This
too.
is. I understand this is a place of unorthodox recovery. Not everybody's going to have the same look of recovery of what I feel I need. But I've seen people with many, many years that have done it completely different out of the book, and that's just
Exactly.
the way it is. I have an Uncle Tony. He's been clean for 35 years, and he's never been with me in his life.
Yeah.
So that's just. He also lives in the middle of Brainerd, nowhere, so he can't really get into too much trouble up there. Well, you could.
You definitely could.
You can get
but
into trouble, but
what
he's in the
works for some
sticks.
doesn't work
so
for others. So.
that's true. It's so
Yeah.
true. So yeah, I guess that's what my legacy looks like. Just making sure when people come to my funeral, and when I go and meet old baby Jesus, I'm meeting the best version of myself, not what
Crazy.
asking for cigarette butts off the floor. Anyways, next. Hi Nick, how are you
Hey,
doing?
how's it going?
Hey, Nick.
So,
What would your legacy look like?
hardworking, just a good father, strong, resilient, honest. But yeah, like, my biggest thing is, just being a good father and someone that, is just honest. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense for sure.
How long you been clean, Nick?
Since 8/31.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm coming up on three months.
Nice.
So, yeah, just like I'm just trying to do everything that I didn't do before.
What's that? What does
So-
your recovery look like?
So like I graduated treatment at North Star. I did 62 days there, and then I went to outpatient, which is what I didn't do before. I just, I went there for the first day, and I didn't have to take a piss for my UA. So they're like, yeah, come back on this date. And then on my way home, I was already thinking in my head, oh, I'll just go to meetings. I don't need to do outpatient. And then I didn't go to meetings, so I ended up failing. So yeah, like going to meetings, doing my outpatient. I'm at Sober Living, and then to get like a sponsor and work the steps.
Yeah.
You have to
Are
work
you
on it.
looking for a sponsor or do you have one?
I'm looking for one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, just gotta work on it every day.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you live in Sober Living then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. What gives you peace?
Peace.
It used to be food.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still kind of food for me.
Same.
Working through that.
Okay, is that too much of a hard question?
Not really. Peace. Peace for me, I guess. The best peace I get is when I pray. Even when I'm mad and trying to make foxhole prayers and reasons and excuses and injustices and why I think I should get more for things. But I've had to come back down to a different type of level and realize that whatever's coming me right now is what I can deserve, and that's all I can handle. So eventually it'll come. And I feel like now I have more peace with it, because before I was so anxious and so worried and so astrayed with trying to find stuff and different things.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I say stuff and things a lot, because I've always been trying to chase other stuff and things, and now I'm realizing that, and I've known it, it's just I've never really put a lot of work into it, a lot of work into the books, a lot of work into the recovery. And even when I have, I fall short of it and I fall away from it. I'm like a dog. I see the squirrel and then I don't see the squirrel, and I see it again and then I run at it. And
Yeah, me too.
It's just a constant struggle, and I feel like that's just the type of person I am. And a lot of that anxiety and depression and emotion comes from just not handling that little shit.
100%.
And the little stuff gets better when I start being better about that stuff. So I try to always pray every morning and every night, and that's what gives me peace, because I know I feel like the day's begun and I can handle just about anything that comes
Yeah.
my way.
Yeah.
So that's what peace is for me.
It's awesome.
I would say like nature.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
Like walks and just being out with nature.
yeah, and like like up north, and then looking at the stars and just thinking,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know.
You already answered that question. Okay.
I didn't
What
answer
other
it.
benefits come from being sober other than putting down the drugs and alcohol? Anyone? All of you.
What other benefits come from it?
Yeah.
From being sober?
Yeah.
I can live my life.
Yeah. Period.
know-
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life right now that would all go to the wayside. Every single thing that I had, my boat, my truck, my wife, my family, my kids, my job, my everything that I have in my life would disappear.
Yeah.
I have it's that cliche where you say, every time that you use or whatever, my addiction, my reaction is I bust out in handcuffs. Well, it's true for me.
It's
I never
true.
last. I never last. I never make it. I don't think that I could make it ever again. I never think that I could make it in whatever. I've got 6.5 years of clean, and I don't think I could make it in what's going on in the world right now, in that part of the world right now. I could never make it. I don't have any fathom or thought in my mind that I could last a month. I don't
Yeah.
think I could last a day,
Yeah.
but I would lose everything,
Yeah. Same.
I'd lose myself. And
That's a
long
big
time
part.
ago, Andrea told me that, whatever you put before your recovery is the first thing that you're going to lose, and so I took that into my heart, and, I don't want to lose anything I have in my life right now. My friends,
Yeah.
I've got the greatest group of friends that I could ever ask for, I could call on any one of my friends and, hey, look, this is going on. Well, all right, this is what you do. I called on multiple people today. I was driving home from Duluth today, and I called a friend because I had $40 that I got from my mom, and I wanted to stop at the casino. And I knew I shouldn't have stopped at the casino, but I just picked up the phone, and somebody answered on the first ring. They talked me off the ledge and just kept me driving down the highway, didn't stop. It's just like, just use my network. 'Cause I'd
Yeah.
feel shitty, I was trying to talk myself into it I knew it was coming up, and I tried to talk myself into it, but then I talked myself right out of it, called a friend, and, without those people, I just start going down the wrong path and just start doing stuff that, it's not worth
Connection
it.
is so important. So important. I know for myself at least it really is, but like you just shared for you, it is too.
Yeah, I'd say like, family, friends, being able to take care of ourselves and
Just live a better life.
yeah, and like the community of sobriety, like we're all there for each other, and so
Yeah. I love that. All right, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for sobriety, my kids, family, friends, food. Yeah,
Love it.
and God.
God.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus.
6 pound 4 ounce baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like to picture my
got
Jesus.
I just got.
I like to picture my Jesus with the tuxedo T-shirt.
I love Ricky Bobby.
He's serious,
Oh yeah.
but he's ready to party.
He's ready to party. Damn right.
I love that movie. Talladega Nights.
Well, I got a new puppy, Aria, her name is, and I'm grateful for her. It's good stuff.
That's it.
Merry Christmas. I mean, I'm grateful for all the other mushy gushy stuff
Yeah.
too, but it'll be a battle for me to get back into taking care of something else on a daily basis other than myself. I have a son, but I don't take care of him on a daily basis, so I can't take all that credit. But yeah, I'm grateful. Got some more accountability.
Period.
I'm grateful for everything that I just got done talking about.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I was sitting at home today, house is empty, and I didn't want to be alone today. So, I didn't want to be alone tonight.
Yeah.
So I figured, I know where there's somewhere where I'm welcome, where I can get a little bit of recovery in. I come down and talk on the mic or whatever.
Yeah, it was good to see you on the Friday
And
night.
some would say that I'm codependent and I can't hang out by myself. I don't spend time by myself. So when I get alone time, I usually like to try to go around people.
But I mean, in your situation, especially today, I kind of understand why you wanted to be here. So.
Yeah.
I think I think that was good that you chose to come here.
I don't think I would have chose anything really
Bad.
anything
right.
bad, but just to not sit at home and just, it's good for me just to be around people.
100%.
So.
Yeah.
People like being around you too.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Mandy, and I'm in recovery.
Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
And I'm Paris, and I'm back.
She's back. That's what's up. So
Hi, Paris.
We were talking about some things, but I'm gonna ask this question: is there anything that you would not do for $1 million?
I don't
Do
know.
a Klondike bar.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask the question. I'll tell you yes or no.
Is
For
there anything
anything I
you
would
wouldn't
not do
do?
for there's plenty I wouldn't do for $1 million. Hurt somebody, like kill somebody.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
No, I would not.
For $1 million?
No.
What if you didn't get caught?
No.
Well, it's like the conscience of knowing what you did. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
especially
I
if you're
mean,
a
I
good
couldn't do it
person.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if you're a good person. That's
Anything
really fine.
that I couldn't sleep at night knowing what I did, I couldn't do. I wouldn't do that for $1 million.
Nick, could you kill somebody for $1 million?
No.
I could not.
I think we would all be pretty.
We would be pretty like, I'm sorry, I did it. It's like,
I couldn't.
I just could
live
never.
with that conscience.
Yeah.
I can't even live with the conscience like of stealing. Like the other day.
or lying.
Or lying.
I don't
yes.
like lying.
And then I'm guilty, or like I feel guilty because then I have to like remember the lie, and then
I
I'm like,
know.
oh shit, wait, I
Yep.
said this, but then I meant to say this, and
Right.
I'm like, fuck it, I can't.
I used to tell everyone that I was not so self-righteous that I didn't lie. It's because I could never keep up with all the BS.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember what I did 2 seconds ago. I
Literally.
don't even know what I'm saying while I'm saying it. How I'm gonna remember whatever
Right, because that's like
concoction I had.
that
Like
goes back to the question of like, well, like if you would kill somebody for $1 million, like that's the thing for me is like I don't think I could keep up with an ulterior motive of something. Like I would just mess up and be like, well, actually, no, I was here, when it's like I was not doing anything at all. So
Yeah. Yeah, it would be too much to keep up with.
When it comes to lying, remember we were in, I was in group a couple weeks ago and the question came up, or it was more of a statement of if you can keep track of how many times you lie in a day.
ooh, that's a good one. But I don't think
Wait. What is
like
that's a question
so,
or a
like-
statement?
No, it's more of a statement, but like you think like
as like a question way,
like
right?
you think about how many times you lie. People say you want to be honest, but how many little lies do you tell
Oh
during
yeah.
the day?
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm not fine right
Yeah,
now. I'm
even-
a hot mess like
Yeah,
inside,
like-
but I'm just gonna smile and say I'm fine.
Yeah, like even then, it's like it's
Those
still
count?
Oh, they
It's
count.
it's a little
lying.
like it's a little lie, you know.
It's not
It's
the
like
Okay, so I'm a server, right?
Yep.
So how awkward would it be? I go up to every table. Hey guys, how you doing? And they're like, good. How about you? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm having the worst day ever. Like, I would never do that.
But see, for me,
You're
I'm,
also giving them an experience too, and that's part of your job is to be
Yeah.
personable.
To lie.
see, I'm the person that is
Like
like
telling them that the special's really good
I'll
tonight.
ask.
Like they might
That's
not be the
true.
truth. So
That's true. No, I would be honest. I'd be like, don't order that shit. Order this.
Yeah.
That's just me.
See, I'm the person that will ask people like, "Oh, like, do you like your job?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Come on, no." And they're like, "Not really." I'm like, "All right, cool. Now you just worked yourself a good tip. Be
Right.
honest.
Be honest. That's what I'm
I'll come
saying.
visit you sometime." I was
Please
like,
do. Yeah. Whenever you go see your dad next and you fly to Denver.
"Yeah, I will. I'll be
'Cause I'm in
going."
the airport.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna probably be going out to Florida in like January, so I'll probably see you then. I'll text you. I'll be like, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay.
Tim said to throw that question away.
yeah, I see that.
Damn. He said, "Damn, Maddie."
Whatever.
It's a good question. It's a good like to see where people's morals are, I guess, too. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and I mean that's part of it. We work an honesty program,
Right.
right?
honesty,
That's what it's supposed to be all about.
accountability, like, you know, all types of stuff. Because it's like, for me, it's like I always have to find a new way of accountability in my life. It's like,
Yeah.
it's coming to meetings because it's like, I feel like it's the biggest question of like, okay, like when we're having like not the best day, like it's sometimes we don't want to do the things that we have to, but it's like, you know, I still come here on Wednesday. So it's like, that is the meeting that I do come to. So it gives me that accountability in my recovery.
I
So then I
relate
don't
to that.
just,
Yeah.
that's like how you are with your Fridays. Like, you know, it's
Yeah.
your accountability into your like sobriety is like be able to like, you like have that choice, but it's like, do you want to make the choice of being better about it? Like actually showing that you can be accountable for like your shit, basically, because that was something we struggled with in addiction, was like not being accountable for anything, and staying with the lies too.
Yeah.
Because I know like I've still tried to be in the honesty program as much as I can because of how much lies I would say when I was like, you know,
Yeah.
not in the best mindset, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's just when we keep that justification. Sally, spiritual advisor here, Monday nights, it always stuck with me. She's like, "Well, what are you keeping in your pocket?" And the first time I'm like, "I don't know what's in my pockets." She's like, "No, every addict keeps something in their pocket that they'll use as their reason to go back out there." And mine clicked right away. Like at that time, it was a dude, and I'm just like, "Yeah."
Right.
And he was my excuse multiple times, and it's like it wasn't his fault that I went and relapsed.
It's just
you know,
something to-
but that was
yeah.
me saying, "Oh, this is why I'm doing it. This is why there's a justification that we kept in
Yeah.
the pocket." So I keep emptying my pockets out all the time. Like, wait a minute, what do I got in here? Okay, I got resentments against this
Right.
person.
No,
You know,
that's
I'm
a
not
really
feeling
good
good about
point.
this.
I feel like I would have to think about that, but that's something really cool to think about.
And that helped me with that accountability piece, because once I take away all those excuses to hit the self-destruct button, then what's left? Me.
Right. Exactly.
Me and my
that's
actions.
That's something that like I think was something really hard for me to look into at first, was like actually being able to be like, you know what, because like, you know, growing up, my parents were addicts, but I don't like to use that as an excuse. It's just an experience that I had with my life and the things that I chose to do. Bye guys. The things that I chose to do was like my choice at the end, you know, like the way I reacted to things when I could have reacted a different way for sure.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I could do that too. I grew up with a parent ever since I was 4. My dad has been in recovery. He had one relapse when I was 19, and
Right.
it was devastating.
Right.
But you know, and I made my choices that I made. But I have 2 cousins that their mother, she was not mentally stable, and she ended up throwing one in the foster system. She kept the other one so she could have a check. I mean, she did all these things, and both of them, they went and they got degrees. They went and they made a life for themselves, and they're doing the exact opposite. Sometimes you're not doing things because of who your parents are. You're doing it in spite of who your parents are.
Some people can
you
be
know?
like, there's like, it's greatest example too is like how you said with your cousins. It's like it's the same things with like my siblings. It's like I have an older brother. He moved away. He's doing all the best things he can. He makes his like, you know, he has his own ownership of his own things. Just like it's so funny because it's like, you know, we grew up in the same household, but like I went my route and I was like, it's not terrible either, because I still decided to pick up and like not want to go down that path that my parents did. It only took me a few times to go into jail, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this. Like I'm young and I just want to like have something better for myself. I don't want to be in the system when I'm like my parents' age, you know. So that was something that I had to find.
Right. I even think like I do what I do in spite of myself nowadays.
Exactly.
Because both my parents are beautiful people. I love them so much. I almost cried last night at Thanksgiving because my mom is my hero.
Right.
And I was thinking about that as I was going home, thinking about all the stuff that she's done, and I'm just I only wish that I could be half the woman that she is most of the time, right? But like I'm not here to compare myself against other people. I can be the best version of me every day.
Right, compare yourself to yourself.
Exactly,
Like what you were before you got here. And it's
self-betterment, man.
Exactly.
It's a thing.
What would you do with your last $20 right now at this moment, in this very second?
Feed somebody that don't got food.
What would you do in your addiction with your last $20?
Go buy some fucking drugs.
Right.
And we're gonna be completely honest. Yeah.
So I got kind of triggered the other day because I was like low on money and I'm like overthinking shit. I'm trying to save. I'm trying to be smart. And I used to like return shit in my youth, like Walmart, and I probably shouldn't say this, but Marshall's takes back anything. Like I'm talking about anything. Like years later they'll take it back. And so I was like, oh, I could return. And I'm like, Maddie, no, like that's not honest, you know? Just reminded me of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was homeless and out there doing my thing, I remember that self-checkout aisle at a few stores. Like I'm still not sure how I'm making those financial amends yet. I'm gonna be honest, but like, but I know what that's like and being in that situation. And at some point, I had to tell myself through all of that, like, is this truly a need? Like,
I know.
the person that I was out there with, I was trying to still have some integrity while I was stealing people. Like, seriously,
for a purpose.
yeah, right. Like, I was trying to get a blanket so I could stay warm, and they're like grabbing all this other random crap, and I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? We don't have a place to stay. Like,
Right.
what are you gonna do with any of that right now?
Right.
That is not like productive. But
I used to steal fast breaks to eat.
Me and Paris were kind of talking about that earlier, like how we said that we like go Black Friday shopping, and I said I went into Target and it was just so freaking overwhelming with all
Right.
of the shit.
I think it's just like my brain gets overwhelmed with like people, and I just get overstimulated because it's like when I was in addiction, like I wanted to be around people all the time, where it's like now I just like to think to like for myself and just kind of be by myself. Like if I need to go
Legit.
shopping for something, I'll wait until the holidays have passed and I'll go do it, you
I
know.
did my online shopping. I'm
Me
good.
too.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Did
what
my
I like
online
to do
shopping.
too.
Yeah.
It's way easier. You get to lay in your bed.
Right, just like do you think this will fit me? Maybe.
Yeah, I used to like the spotlight all the time too, though, and I'm not that person.
Yeah, I think
anymore.
it's just something.
Me too.
Because it's like almost like it's like a way of like, for me at least, I'm not gonna say for anybody else, it was like a cry for help. It's like I was getting in the spotlight for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
But it's like now I can be in the spotlight for other reasons, and even then I'm just like, oh, like,
But for positive things.
yeah, exactly.
But we were like little kids, right? Whether it's good attention or bad attention, at
We
least we're
want
getting
it.
the attention,
Yeah, we
right?
want
We
it.
got something going on. And,
Exactly.
yeah, don't need to live for that anymore. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
So what got you into recovery, Paris?
So what got me in recovery was like just you know, because all of you guys know, like I'm 20. I started in recovery when I was 19 years old, and I was just always like, I don't know, I went through a lot of stuff like year before. I was in a DV relationship. I also had to make the decision to keep a child or not, and this is actually all in the matter of like this month now. So like this is like one of the roughest months for me. So that's when my addiction first started. It was like last November, and then I stayed into addiction until like January 24th, and that's when that's when I got sober, because I was just going to jail. I didn't like it. You know, that's just like, that's not me. Like, everybody, they're a good person. They just make really dumb decisions to get those places. And it's like, I seen where it brought my mom, and I seen where it brought my dad. Like, my dad just recently, like, I had like helped him with his parole, because he was on parole for like 10 years of his life. So it's like, I didn't want that for myself. I want to be able to just travel. I wanted to like actually find a better version of myself, because it's like, for most of my life up until I was 13 to now, like I didn't know how to like deal with myself, nor did I know who I was.
Yeah.
So it was something that it was just a bright light, and I was just like, like I know, because I'm gonna go through the system, I'm gonna have court, like why the hell am I gonna stay like all drugged up and stuff when I'm trying to get myself like not in like a worse situation with this stuff. And it actually helped. It's like, so after I went through court, because I got sober, I went to treatment, and I just started going to NA. I got like 1 year probation that's unsupervised, and I got 4 year probations for like felony misdemeanors, because I just showed that like, I'm willing to put the work in. I'm doing what you guys are asking me to, and it's not just even because you're asking me, I'm doing it because I want to. So it was just something like that for me. It was more like I wanted to be better. And it's like almost like what Mandy was saying, like out of the spite of like our parents. It's like, it was like spite out of myself and my parents. It was like, I didn't want to be in this position of like I'm 40 years old, and like, and I'm proud of them. My mom has 3 years, my dad has 5, and it's just like, but I just didn't want to be at that age and just now figuring out what I wanted. I wanted to figure it out now, and then like, so then I can understand myself better more in the future. So
It's funny because I was 40 years old saying, what the hell am I doing?
yeah.
My stint with recovery really began with my DUI. And I had not learned enough lessons. And when they say there's always another rock bottom, I found every single one. I lost my house. I couldn't care for my kids. They had to stay with my ex, which another person I'm very grateful for, him and his wife.
Yeah.
They picked up the slack. A lot of people don't have that that as an option. I ended up losing a place to live. I lost the trust of my family. I couldn't even trust myself.
Right.
And I found a whole new addiction. Started off as an alcoholic, ended up getting addicted to meth somewhere in there too. And for me, what finally clicked was I was just sick of myself. I was sick of all those everything that I was keeping in my pocket, like I was saying. And for me, I kept bouncing back and forth every time my family would be kind enough to finally let me come back.
Right.
And I'd go back out there and make stupid decisions again, whether it was use or
It just was
abusive
like
relationship.
yeah,
any of
like
that
living
stuff.
in an addict lifestyle, basically. Like,
Seriously.
even when you're like, because that's the thing is like we also have to remember like it takes time to get there too, because it's like it's not just like it starts with yourself. It's also with like other relationships with people. It's like really finding like a healthy boundary with those people. Like even if they can't be healthy, it's a healthy boundary within yourself for that person, which is like super hard.
And I got to do that. I got to do that this past month. I got to set a very healthy boundary for somebody who we were toxic together.
Right.
We were in active use together and sobriety together. No matter what way it was, it always ended up in like a toxic fashion. And I saw them in the rooms, and I got to say, you know what? Got a lot of history. It is what it is,
Right.
but it's where it needs to stay, and
Yeah.
and that door has closed. Like
Yeah.
I hope you find what you need. I'm always gonna pray for you. I wish you the best in your recovery and that you can make it. But you and I are not healthy around each other, and like I'll root you from afar. And
I
that's,
think that's
you can love
amazing that
people
you
for
were
a
Yeah,
reason.
I was like, and I was gonna say like
Yeah.
a lot of people like when, especially when you get into recovery, and then like the people that were around you when you weren't in recovery, it kind of have some like almost like a not a vendetta but envy in a way of like, oh well, like they don't like me, like they think they're better than me, but it's like it's not. Like I'm just trying to find some self love, and there's no like it's not that I don't love you or care about you. It's just like where we are, we're on different planes of this world right now,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yep.
Like that's your life, and it's like, and that's what you choose to do. Like that's okay.
Yep.
That's how I am with everybody. It's like, you know, it's not my life, and I don't like in the most respectful most disrespectful but respectful way. I respect it. Like that's you, that's your life, and I can't do nothing about it. And
Right.
like, you know, but just love you from afar and know that once you get to that spot where I'm kind of at, like I'll be there. But I'm not gonna lower like my like what I've worked hard for just to make somebody else comfortable.
Have them meet you at your level. The only people that I'm going to meet them on their level are people that I feel that I have something to learn from, and I'm going to try and raise up to that level. I'm not
Exactly.
stooping down anymore. I'm not shrinking down
Yes.
anymore.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
My recovery started with the judge. And, you know, I got a long prison sentence, and I went to boot camp, and I got out early. I got out 4 years early, and
yeah.
or 42 months early. And
hey.
when I got out, you know, my girlfriend at the time was clean. Now my fiance, she's still clean. My sister was clean.
Shout out Jen
Shout
Yeah,
out Jen.
Jen.
Shout out
and Andrea. And Andrea.
You know, they were clean, and you know, I always had good prison talk. You know, I was coming out, I was gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know, we're gonna be clean, we're gonna do this, and you know, without my support network, I probably would. You know, who knows what would have happened. I don't even want to think about what it would have been like if, you know, those two weren't already clean and sober and, you know, starting to live their best life, and things were starting to manifest for them. And it just turned one day into another, and you know, it's just grown into something that I've wanted my whole life. You know,
Yeah.
I've wanted, you know, since I started going to treatment when I was 15 or 13 or something like that. I went to long-term treatment when I was 17. Started my meth career when I was 19.
Yeah.
It finally ended when I was 37, 30, something like that. But I, you know, it started with the judge, and I was blessed to get out early, and I took the most advantage of it as I could, and, you know, built the life that I have now.
Yeah.
Well, and then this like system or this program, it's like it is a just for today program. You can't take back what you did yesterday, but you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. It's like the biggest thing.
We had a question come in. What is your purpose? Or, I'm sorry. What is your process you go through when you lose someone while in recovery versus when you're not in recovery?
Ooh.
There's been a lot of deaths lately in the recovery
Yeah.
community and outside
Yeah.
of that for some people.
Yep.
So I think talking about that and talking about grief.
It's a
and-
great thing to talk about because
Yeah.
it's not. I feel like it's not something that's talked about in meetings.
Yeah.
For sure. Because
Yeah.
I
What
know
was the question?
What is your process you go through when you lose someone while in recovery versus when you're not in recovery?
I can be super specific on
Go
that.
ahead.
I love
When I was trying to be in recovery, and life got really lifey, my friend passed away from her alcoholism and liver failure, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I couldn't cope. I didn't use any of the tools that I was learning while I was in treatment, and I went out there, and that's how I started using meth.
that was in your pocket.
That
Yeah.
was straight up in my pocket. My pockets were full at that point.
Oh
I
my
could have pulled a
goodness.
lot of excuses out of those pockets. This week was a very hard week for me, along with a lot of other individuals in our community, losing 2 people, and it messed me up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And for me, at my work, we were doing a team meeting, and everyone's like, "What are you thankful for?" And everyone's doing all their cheesy stuff, whatever. And I work with all women, and they get to me, they're like, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm thankful to have another day that I'm alive, that I can hug
Right.
my family and tell them I
Yeah.
love them because my friends just died." And everyone
like,
just they were like,
"Holy
"Okay, mic drop. Thanks for ruining Thanksgiving for us." And I'm like, "No, like this is
It's true.
It's real stuff." And it's for me, what I had to do, I had to give myself a moment to experience the grief, because that's one thing that was really hard for me getting into recovery, having to feel all the feelings.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
being
yeah.
able to acknowledge them and release them and say, "I see you. I understand, and you're not going to control me right now."
Right.
So I gave myself a minute to just have a sad girl moment, and then I was lucky enough to have my kids and my fiance that I went out with. But I talked to my sponsor about it, and I said, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you feel numb over it. Sometimes you feel like you get survivor's guilt
Yep.
Yeah.
through it. I mean, I ran through so many emotions this time with one of them, especially. But I made sure that I talked to the people that I trust about it, because grief happens in weird ways.
Grief affects everybody differently.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
There's a part of like, when we lose people in recovery, or that have went back out and decided to do some more research, you can only grieve them for so long. You have to let it go.
Yep.
You have to let what their choices, the things that we just got done. Over the last week, there's been lots of conversations about it. People go out and they use and they die. That's the stark reality. We all know it. We talk about it. We say it. You hear it all the time. You go back out and you're going to use. You're going to die. You're going to go back to jail. And it's not a bad thing to grieve for somebody, but
Yeah.
we have to let it go. You can't hold on to you have to let go of the grief for somebody else. I mean, if I was in active use, it would just be like, oh man, let's get high for him, or let's do this for
Right.
that person, or whatever.
Or you just be
You
like,
know.
it's sad, but like just keep going on.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't even really like.
It just reminds
Feel
you.
it.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I wasn't close to any. I didn't really even know any of the people that passed the last couple of weeks, but it's a stark reminder that it's a lesson for us.
Right.
I'm a meme queen. I saw one that said, "How are you going to conquer your demons when you keep entertaining them?"
No, exactly.
And that hit home with the people in the community that I know that passed away. That will be missed. And but yeah, they did what they made the choices that they made, and I think that the best thing that anybody in the recovery community can do that knew them, like me, I'm gonna do my best that if I have tough times happen or whatever thoughts went through their head, if they go
Reach
through
out.
mine, I'm gonna stay
Yeah.
sober for it, and I'm gonna try and be the best version of myself.
Yeah, just stay sober and reach out, because it's like, I've had my own personal loss this year and stuff. I've had a lot, and it's just like, but it's like I was actually just thankful that I could like feel my feelings, because it's like I've had loss when I wasn't sober. Like, I had a friend lost to addiction, and that was like one of the hardest parts for me. And and it's crazy for me to think I was 17 when she passed away, and she was my age when she passed away, and I'm gonna outlive her. And that's something that like, I truly miss about that person. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm sober and I'm doing this not just for myself, for all the people that like weren't able to like, fight that battle they lost. And it's like, and it's something that kind of gives me that drive. It's like a way of like healthy grief for me, and it's like that survivor guilt, because it's, and I'm just thankful that I can have like a clear mind to be there for like my family and stuff, because it's like, you know, I've had cousins that just lost their mother, and like her youngest is 3, and like, you know, it's crazy shit, and it's like, you know, the best I can do is just be there and love them, and support them any way they need to, make them laugh, and try to give them a good memory of what they can.
the
And
good memories,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, instead of just sitting there and like it's okay, feel your feelings, like I'm not saying don't, but it's like, you know, I was sitting around with my cousins, and because, you know, we're native, we do it a different way. We do it like for 4 days, 4 nights, so we get to sit with the body, all that stuff, you know. We don't get into too much detail of it, but we were sitting there with their mom, and so I'm sitting there with them. I'm like, hey, I was like, I got a question for you. I was like, what is the greatest memory you have with your mom? You know, and like they all shared their memories, and it's like, because it's okay to miss it and be sad, but it's like, just remember all the good things that she did for you now. And it's like, and that's one thing I'm grateful for, is like I can be there for my family. I was there for my mom when her father passed away, and it's like, and I can actually just be present and like be there to be a helping hand, instead of just like out in the corners, like, oh yeah, like I'll be at the services, but like, you know, but dealing with my own stuff, because it's like I use death as like an excuse, basically. Like that was like my justification of like, well, I'm sad, I messed up about what happened, I'm gonna go get high, because it's like, because like, you know,
Easier to deal with.
yeah, and it's like, and it's one of the biggest things that people can use as like an excuse to like do what they like want to do, basically, and nobody can say anything to you, because it's like, whoa, like you're grieving in your own way, and it's like, everybody does, but it's like you should. And the best way of like being in recovery is just like try to grieve in a healthy way, like be around people, share memories with those, like with the people that you like lost, like the good ones, and it's like, and don't like sit in sorrow for too long. Like that's one thing I've had to learn. It's like, and even then it's like grief in the way of like even just living. It's like, you know, having grief for people that aren't in your lives anymore and stuff like that. Like that's a big thing that I don't think people talk about either. It's just the grief of like missing who you could have been, the people that could have been, and it's just like, and what that friendship could have been. But it's just like finding that way of like, you know what, at the end of the day, it's like, it's all love for those people. It always is. So
Yeah, well, and that's staying present, though, right?
yeah, like staying present is a really big thing, because it's like, I feel like once you start getting caught up in those thoughts and like those feelings, that's when like those you know, those thoughts come back of like, but like, you know, you go do this, you go out for a drink, or like, you know, and it's like, no, like you got to think not just about yourself, but everybody else that's like affected in this situation right now. Like,
and that ripple effect runs deep with those
Right.
actions. You think you're not hurting anybody
Right,
else, right? I'm just
exactly.
hurting myself. It's fine, you know.
Well, it's like, and I
No,
think it's
not
also
true.
something that's hard to look at too, is like when you're hurt, you're not thinking about like, you know, who you're hurting in the process too. And I actually had that thought process not that long ago about like not even like addiction, but it was like self-harm. Like, you know, it was just like thinking about like how my parents may have felt, and it's like, especially like with like, and this is something to just remember for everybody. It's like, you got to think like our parents and people that brought us into the world, they think that we were the most beautiful, brilliant people. And if you are struggling right now, like you need to understand, like it's not just hurting you, and you're not hurting yourself, you're hurting the people that really like love you, and they really do care about you.
Especially when they feel like they're hopeless they can't, you know, like we all know this, like no matter what our parents say, no matter what our kids say, no matter what your best friend says, that's not going to stop you from using it until you're ready. So
yeah,
just feeling that hopelessness, I'm sure that my mom has felt, my
Right.
you know, my close friends have felt, just like they had to let me do it.
That's that tough love.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's some of the best love you can
It's
get,
just
though,
tough.
right?
Even
Take
if
the
it's,
safety net away, and it's like I literally said that to my
Yeah.
mom. I was like, Mom, she's an enabler, bless her heart, and you know she helped me with everything, and it's like, no, I'm still making really stupid choices, Mom.
Like,
stop
doing
how
that.
about we'll make a deal. I'll come to you when I'm actually finally willing to ask for help for the right
Right.
reasons, and then you can show up for me. Quit saving me from myself, because it will never work.
right. Exactly.
And
My
it's,
mom saved me from everything but jail. How fucked up is that?
hey, same
Okay,
here
ain't
though.
nothing
My
they
mom,
can do when the law gets their hands on you.
Yeah, I was like, that's what my mom did. She was like, you'll figure it out, and that's what got me
So
sober.
listen
So
to
it's
Nelly.
like,
You know what Nelly said.
She could have bailed me out.
Same
But
message,
sorry, what
different
were you gonna
delivery.
say, Nick? Because I cut you off. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say that how great it feels to be able to show up now, though,
Yeah.
yeah,
in recovery. You know,
For our
as
parents.
as a sober person.
yeah,
As
just
if somebody in recovery, you know, we're the version of ourselves that our parents envisioned, that
Yeah.
you know, our family envisioned. You know, the version, maybe, you know, it might be, for me personally, the vision of who I wanted to be you know, and the person I am now, like, you know, the times where you're like still getting high and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get sober, you know. This is the person that I thought you know, that I wanted to be. You know, I wanted to be this person who's reliable and who's, you know,
Dependable.
who's dependable, and you know, I can, you know, all the good qualities. And I mean, there's still bad qualities. I'm by far, you know, I'm not perfect or anything like that, but you know, I'm able to show up for people. Like I got a family situation going on right now, and I was able to show up yesterday.
Awesome.
I was able to show up today, you know, and you know, I'll be able to show up in the future. And you know, I mean, it's like just to honor, you know, the people. If you get spiritual about it and you think that people are still watching over you, or like there's, you know, like there are people that have passed that they're watching you, even like grandparents, parents, brothers,
Yeah.
sisters. You think that they're watching over us? They would be fucking proud of us.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
they'd be proud of who we are, the things that we're doing, the choices that we're making. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, you hear their voices in your head, or you know, they're just smile. You think they're just smiling down on you or whatever, and it's a great feeling, you know, to be able to. You got to be self-aware. You know, that's something you got to be. It's hard to be self-aware and like step back and like. That's kind of like what I was talking about with the legacy last week and this week. You know, if you can step back and look at yourself and where you're at today, and be proud of where you're at.
Oh,
You think
Andrea
about-
just said something really good.
Right.
As addicts in recovery, we get 2 lives: our lives in addiction and our lives in recovery. Not everyone gets 2 lives.
Exactly. It is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Truth. I
It
feel
really
it.
is.
I mean, when you rock bottom, that's you lose whatever it is that you thought meant so much to you. You really get to find out what is important in life. That was
Right.
huge for me. I was very spiritually bankrupt in my life. I had all the things.
But it's like, what were you missing? Was like basically yourself at the end of the day.
Seriously.
It really is. It's like, you know, because it's like I've had because like I was saying, like you could have people all around you, but it's like
Still a
you're
lonely
still gonna
place.
feel lonely at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. It's like because it's like what really comes down is like the morals and like the love that you have for like your higher power and stuff. It's like, you know, and it's like something that really gives you that fulfillment of a cup. And it's like, you know, that's for sure, because that's what I always like think back on is like I hated being alone. I hated it. Now I will take that over anything.
True story. I feel you.
Yeah, like, oh, you guys want to cancel plans? Cool. I'm just gonna go crawl back in my bed and
I have a hard time just being alone.
Well, that's okay too.
I do. Like when Andrea goes out of town, I go to a lot of recovery stuff. I do. I can spend some time by myself, but it's not even
What,
like
do you
I'm
just
not.
get bored or
Yeah.
Bye,
Usually just
Jimmy.
make bad financial decisions.
that too?
I forced myself to learn how to be alone because I was very much that. I couldn't do. I would end up crying, like seriously crying. And when I came back into the rooms, I made myself just sit in my shit.
Yeah.
And
There's like some
I
kind
had
of
pushed
peace
myself.
and like you like get humbled by sitting by yourself. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know what the right word is or how to say that correctly, but there's like you grow from sitting by yourself and sitting in your own shit.
Yeah, well,
you
it's
know?
like you see, like, for like where you don't like yourself and what you can fix about yourself too is like one of the biggest things. Because it's like I always was like, well, why don't people want to be around me? And I sat there and I thought about the things that I was doing, and I was like, you know what? That makes actual sense. Like, I don't want to be around me either. Because it's like, it's like a 50-50 for me. It's like my misery don't like company. But it's like, if there's somebody just as miserable as me, sure, you can sit with me. Because it's like, you know, because it's like, I don't ever want to make people feel the way that I feel. Like, I don't like myself right now, so why the hell am I going to have you sit next to me?
That
basically?
isolation,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And that can be dangerous too. Like it can, because like you don't know what will happen within that isolation. It's like, especially when you're still in an active addiction. But it's like now it's like you're just gonna find that health in it, like the health and the wealth. Like, you know what, like you gotta think we're not in a hospital where like our privacy would be invaded all the time. We're not in like jail where
Prison.
yeah, exactly. We're not in prison where like we're not allowed to have anything for ourselves. It's like you find the appreciation of actually just having time for yourself and be able to like roam free in your thoughts and like figure out what is a healthy manner for you, because everybody's different. Like the one thing that's similar to all of us is that we're all on the road of recovery, but the way that we have our come ups and how we do it is completely different.
Agreed.
Yep.
I use that time to find a way to connect to my higher power. And it used to be a really one-sided like relationship with me and my higher power. Like I'd
Yeah.
always be begging for this and wanting that and praying for this and that.
Yeah, but
I
what
never
were you-
took the time to meditate and hear what. And once I started hearing my higher power, oh my gosh, I'm like, you're there. Oh my gosh, like and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
when the message finally came through for me, and it was just
Yeah.
it was insane. And doing that, so.
Hi, Phil. Phil is so sweet. Hi, Paul. You want to come on here?
He said, I just wanted to come check it
I'm
out.
good.
But yeah, I would say like it's really important for that stuff.
Andrea says she finally loves herself, and I can relate to that. Like, I actually am like,
Yeah.
I mean, I still have my insecurities, but as far as like
Being comfortable within your
who
own.
I am,
Yeah,
I'm,
like what
like,
you
okay with
do.
it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's part of
she can
learning
be
yourself.
alone. She's one person that she can stay by herself and be perfectly fine.
yeah.
She's my opposite.
And then here comes Happy Nick.
Perfect.
There's me.
Babe, I need you.
Well, working the steps too is about finding yourself, right? Who you really are.
Yeah.
Once you shed away all the things that you use to define yourself, all those egocentric items.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so who am I when I'm not drinking and drugging? Who am I when I'm not
And
trying to be
it's hard.
the person I am at work, the person as a mom or a daughter or a
Yeah.
friend or this? Who am I? Take away all the other stuff and it's just me.
Yeah, and that can be the hardest thing, especially when you like for people
Especially
that
when
have
you
been.
don't love yourself right away.
Yeah, if you don't love yourself right away, and
Yeah.
then you've also just struggled with so long of like not knowing yourself. Like I think that's a really big thing is like not having at least a foundation of who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
That can make it 10 times harder for you to actually like, you know, figure out an answer with those questions that we have to do in our step work. It's like that can be really difficult for some people.
Well, and that's what kind of lessened the blow for me is that I had the steps to start working through that to find myself through all of it. And I know I'm not alone in that. I've had that conversation with other addicts, and I think the step work was like integral for me to be able to say, okay, well, this is Mandy. I kind of like me.
Yeah.
Cool beans, you know.
Yeah, it took a lot. I was recently looking at like my old Instagram page, and I was literally going back to like my freshman year of high school, and I was just like looking at these pictures, and I was just like, I feel so bad for her because she hated herself, you know, and like it came out in so many different ways, and I just wish that I could go back and like I look at her, like I look at her and I'm just like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, and like all these things that I wish I knew about myself back then. That like now, like I'm just like I'm so grateful that I don't know, I had to experience a lot of things by myself to get to where I am and to be able to like look at myself and just be okay with me and be proud of who I am today, because I did a lot of work on my own to get to where I am, you know?
Yeah,
For sure. It's growing pains.
Yeah.
Just like when we're kids, so I hear about growing pains, like when people actually have the growth spurts. I am short as heck, so like I didn't physically have that, but
Oh
like
my God, me
spiritual growing pains, like through
Yeah, for
recovery,
sure.
that is huge. And like, and when I'm not feeling the spiritual growing pains at times, I feel like I'm almost doing something wrong at this point because I've made so much growth.
yeah.
That it's like, wait a minute, that stagnancy. It's like if I'm not growing, if I'm not learning, like I'm just staying still, right? I'm not running away or
exactly.
anything anymore, but I need to be.
I think also too, it's
moving
just
with
like the
purpose.
growing pains kind of
Yes.
get like they get a little bit more less of a hurt once you start to kind of have like a better understanding of like, you know, because we're always constantly learning, and I think it just gets a little bit easier after a while of like, you know, it's not so hard of a blow when you're like, oh, like I shouldn't have like done this, and it's like it could be something like that like can kind of be an addict behavior, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, like I shouldn't have ran the red light, or oh, I should have just picked up that person's garbage or something, you know, like something small. It's
Right.
like it's just like I think after a while it's like you kind of have like
I
a really
still run red lights.
same girl, it's okay.
We when we go through, we'll say a yellow light. We'll put some air quotes around it. When we go through a yellow light, we always yell out our friend Heidi's name and like hit the ceiling because she always talks about how she runs red lights all the time. So
Oh my gosh.
we pay homage to her. So she's in our pocket when we go through
Yes.
red lights.
Keep a little few
Like
things
when
in
it's
there.
late at night and no one's around, I'm like,
That's when you don't have any integrity.
Yeah. Ooh, mic drop. Truth.
I've gotten better about it, especially with the whole like in the system of it. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, you know, but Yeah, it's just like a lot of those things, it can be hard. It's like, I think it was like the hardest thing for me, the first part of like getting into recovery. It was like feeling alone, because it's like when you're a newcomer for sure, and you come into a room and there's people that have known each other for months or years, it doesn't matter, just for a while. It's like I felt very lonely at first, because I was like, I don't really know where to fit in, because it's like I'm a baby right here. I'm the baby at the table. Like, it's just like, and it's kind of hard, because it's like I don't see a lot of people my age doing that. Like, they don't see it as a problem now, and that's okay. It's just like I knew from my generational things in life that it is a problem, and I had to pick that up like sooner than later, because it's like, especially what's out on the roads and like what's out there now, like there probably wouldn't be a later if I was still continuing, and that's like the truth that you have to look at sometimes. So
I attempted to get, like, I had my 21st birthday in treatment, and I mean, it didn't really work. I wasn't ready, but I get it. I get the whole fact. Like, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, it's, you know, it's normal at 21 or 20 to be crazy and drink all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but not to the extent of like what
we're
I'm doing. But
Exactly.
Well, that's the addict behavior, though. We don't have the off button that other people do, right?
We're
yeah,
not
but
normal.
it like it like made it in my mind like okay, like because my friends were like just drinking. I mean, I couldn't drink without wanting to use more drugs, but like it was like almost easier.
It was like socially acceptable, especially around this age. It's like everybody's like, yeah, like this is the time that you're supposed to just like let go, and I'm like, but this is also a time that we could go to jail. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
It wasn't
so
socially acceptable to shoot meth.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now when you're pulling
Whichever
out that, they're
social
like,
circle.
whoa, man, like hold on.
See, and I was a late bloomer in my addiction. Like I had messed with all the fun things, again air quotes fun, all the stuff in high school, and I saw my friends were starting to get into more serious stuff, and I preferred to be a weekend warrior, and I was like, I need to get away from this. So like 19-year-old me was like, wait a minute, we need to change something, and I moved away from my hometown.
Yeah.
I got away from everybody, started a new life, started adulting, got married when I was 19, and I did all that stuff, and then when I got divorced and I was in my 30s, and I like pretty much my entire adulthood, like I just you know, did the wife, mother, work,
Yeah.
school, all that stuff, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. So I was like, so wild oats, let's do this. So that it's like, oh, let's try drinking, and I could all of a sudden drink when I couldn't before. I could never hold my alcohol. That one chick at the party, when you were like in that party, and there was only one bathroom, you know, and there was some stupid drunk chick in the bathroom that's locked up, hugging the person in God with the spins. That was me.
Yeah.
I was always that chick. They're like, who brought this bitch? And I was like, oh, yeah.
like,
So
I know.
yeah.
I have a question for you, actually, for both of you guys, Mandy, Nick, and Maddie, if you guys want to answer. What would be something that like you would tell somebody that is young into sobriety? Like now that they're in sobriety, like what advice would you want to give them? Like something to kind of carry on with them.
I had a conversation with my sponsor today, and I told her how I was giving someone advice. She's like, well, as somebody in recovering, you're sharing the message. Are you really supposed to be giving them advice, or are you supposed to be sharing your experience, your strength?
That's
your
what I'm
hope? And
kinda
like,
you know?
It's like, I'm not the know-it-all. Everything I thought, the more I know, the more I realize I know nothing.
Yeah.
Legit. So like for me, if I hear somebody that's going through it, I tell them, if there's something that I can relate to, that I can express what happened to me in that situation and what I wish I could have done differently or what I've done differently since then, that's where I go. It's not advice, because that's just another... Do you remember people preaching to you saying, all you need to do is this, all you need to do is that, just do this, just do that. And the oppositional defiance at its best. I'm like, no.
Right.
So I think it's just having somebody understand. Like my addiction tells me that I'm alone. That loneliness that I felt was my addiction and I fighting back and forth. And it's saying all the things that you're not this, you can't do that, you're only this, nobody's that.
Right.
And I had to get past all of that and start trusting other people, start trusting myself. And then I was able to grow from there. And so I think for me, it's just like, what do you want? What everyone wants out of their recovery, aside from just being sober, it's something different, right?
Would you say patience is a really big thing for people that like are first in recovery, they're young, like just having patience?
I think that's just
just in
we're in the
general?
instant gratification throwaway generation. Take recovery out of that altogether. That's the world right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge thing of it. Should we just like start a TikTok recovery so people can have 5 seconds of recovery?
Seriously.
Like,
Yeah, you have. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it starts with like self like really find like self-love, you know, like at the end of the day, you have to be okay with who you are. You have to sit with yourself, and you have to just like all those friends, all those people that you think like at a young age, you know, like you think you're living for, you think these people are going to be there forever, like you have to do it for yourself, and you have to be okay with sitting with yourself. And I mean, yeah, I guess I just keep kind of repeating myself.
But
like,
hey, sometimes it's like that's what people need. Sometimes is that repetitiveness of like actually like getting it kind
Yeah.
of through their head.
And it's all with recovery. It's all repetition at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's this. I say it all the time. Same message, different delivery. I could hear the same thing from all
That's
three
very
of you,
true.
but one of you is the one that it clicks for me.
Yeah.
So whether somebody gets the message from me or any of you sitting with me or anybody else out there, as long as the message is received and action's being taken and the work's being done, that's all that really matters, right? So.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like Dustin says all the time, men with men, women with women.
That's hey, I follow that fully.
And I mean, our circles are intertwined now with men and women. Like if we like had like a UFC fight or something at Dustin's house, there'd be guys and girls there or whatever. But like I have a core group of men in my life that I check in with every day. 9 other guys that I check in with every day, and they check in with me. In our group, we check in with each other, and we share our joys, our pains, our struggles, our fears, our everything that we have going on in our life, and we're connected to each other. And like when you're in addiction, it's like what we're trying to do is just build our lives. The rest of our lives. We're trying to build what we're going to do with the rest of our lives. And the people that I want to be around are sober. They're clean.
Yeah.
And they're going the same direction that I'm going.
Yep.
So you have to surround yourself. Well, you don't have to, but
it's a good idea.
It's a good idea to surround yourself with people that are going in the same direction that you are.
What's the saying? A birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
Maddie.
you're not going to be early in recovery. You're not going to go back with your old group of friends and be like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
they're going to the bar. Yeah, I'm going to come hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drink,
Maybe,
but I'm gonna hang out.
There's,
You put yourself in a situation.
there's I'm at a point in my recovery where like I could go to not just straight to a bar, but like I could go.
Yeah.
If they go out to have a drink, or if they're drinking when we go out to eat.
Yeah,
With my family or something like that. But like I've always got somebody in my corner that's usually sober with me. I mean,
Right.
like it's not that temptation. I mean, I'm not going to the dope house. I'm not going to the
Right.
trap house.
It's
or
just
anything
like
like
it's
that.
the society's like thing
You
of
have
like
to,
I
have to find people that are going in the same direction as me.
right. Yeah.
And if all of a sudden I stop checking in,
Then they're gonna be like, okay, what's up?
whoa, what's going on with
Yeah.
where are you at? Why haven't you checked in? We will get checked on that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I have like few people that call on me from here, and it's like I'm thankful for it either way. Like if I'm not here for like a week, Miss Gracie's one of them that will call me and be like,
I be knowing.
I know, I bet you do.
We all be knowing.
I was like,
we talk about her. She's not even listening.
I know.
Probably telling Tad he plays too much.
But it's just like I don't know, and it's like that's the one thing too is like most of you guys have like met my boyfriend. He's came to a couple meetings and he's great. Like he's somebody that is in my corner because like he's a normie. Like isn't like that's so weird to me. It's like I'm like you're a normie, like you've never done nothing. But it's like I don't discredit it, and it's like because I went out to Thanksgiving with him and his boss, and like it's a Hispanic like family and stuff, and how like a lot of people are just in general. It's like drinks and all that stuff, and it's just like, but it was nice because I could just sit there and I had like. Agua fresca and I'm fine, like I'm just like cool, like and because it's like that was something I had to like distance myself with people too when I got like into recovery. Like I'd have people to ask me like, oh, like can you, because like I had a fake ID, not have, but I had a fake ID that like I would use, and like people would be like, oh, like well can you go to the liquor store for me and stuff like that. I'm like I'm not doing that. I was like you're not respecting what I'm doing, because it's like it'd be like for me being like, hey, you want to go to an NA group with me when like that's not your lifestyle, It's just like it's the same situation. It's like what I do is not always comfortable for everybody, and that's okay. But if you're gonna ask me to do something to put myself in a situation that I was in and I'm not comfortable with that, I don't respect that,
For sure.
Like that's something that I had to like push myself with people. They're like, oh, can you like go to the liquor store? Can I can you grab me this? Can you grab me that? And I'm like, do you not understand, like, where, like, I'm trying to get, like, thanks.
Like they said, like you literally have to change everything, and that like includes
Yeah.
that includes your friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really talk to many. It's like,
Like
I have.
Andrea just said it here too. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you your future. That's so fucking true. Oh, excuse my language.
Hey, but it's okay. We're not on a
That
meeting
is
no more.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Though, like if you hang out with a bunch of people that have no goals and no ambitions, are you just gonna magically be the one that does?
Right, and it's like,
I mean, that's.
and I have like I have a great like 3 friends that I love dearly, because it's like, you know, they're at that age where it's like they can go out and drink, but they respect the fact that like if they're gonna hang out with me, we're gonna just do sober stuff, and I respect them for that. Like, like I said in the beginning, is like, it's your life and you get to choose how you live it. And I'm like, but I'm not gonna be a part of it, and they respect that. Like, we can just go to eat, we can just talk and hang out on the couch, or like we'll make plans to just like do something, and I respect all 3 of those people for sure.
I wanted to say, so you mentioned guys with guys, girls with girls.
Yeah, that's
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, that is.
I am.
Yeah.
And some, you know, I used to be like, I used to be that chick, oh, I get along better with guys than girls, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Well, that's because guys are easy.
They're
dude.
trying to
We
sleep
are-
with you.
Yeah.
They're trying to sleep with you.
Always.
We don't know that. Shh. You know, but that's just it. So it's like, just like everything else, when I'm in my recovery, I need to check my motives, right? So if I'm reaching out for emotional support to a man, it's not to say that can't happen, that I don't have fantastic platonic friends, but it took me a while in recovery. And I'm gonna put this like in a really blunt way. When I first got back into recovery, I avoided dick like it was a plague. I was like, stay away from me. Like, I literally would like put like my arms around me and say boundaries. Gracie taught me that, by the way. I learned my boundaries from Miss Gracie, and I say it all the time.
Yeah.
But if you try to start making those emotional connections and other feelings get involved, we are a big recovery family. It is recovery family and not recovery dating service, right?
Yeah.
So if we keep going around and we're doing all that with our family, and then something happens, it breaks up the family too.
Yeah.
So
It gets messy.
Yeah, it really does.
It
One
does.
to say, Paul's the first one to say, they'll tell you anything you want to hear in that hour, Maddie. They'll tell you anything you want to hear. And I'm like, I know.
In that minute, sometimes.
In that minute, you know, like, it's just, nah, women with women and men with men.
Well, it's like that too. It's like, I don't know. It's like, no disregards to people, but if you're when you're first coming into recovery and stuff, like, you should not be looking for the 13th step. You should be working on your first step. That's the one that you gotta pay
if
attention.
you're not even comfortable enough in your own skin, why are you trying to get up on somebody else's?
Exactly.
We have an
that's what I'm saying.
anonymous question.
Oh, really?
How do you distinguish pure motives and motives of the flesh? That sounds so deep when you say it that way.
I need that broken down.
So if you,
Can you break that down?
break
How
it
do
down
you-
to us.
Pure motives versus like messed up motives?
Is that what it kind of is?
so again, people knowing that people have improper intentions.
Oh, okay. Like the genuine motive between male and female.
So here's the thing: I can trust myself
I
at the
was
end of the
gonna
day.
say
So
gut.
when I show up with my recovery family, I'm not sitting there all doing the flirty, giggly, da 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 thing. I come here for my recovery.
Right.
I mean, but like if that's where I want to be, like when I got together with my significant other, it was outside of the rooms.
Yep.
Even though we both went in and out of the rooms, it was outside of all of that, and we had a friendship for many years, and that's where it started. And it took a while for me to even try to admit that I had feelings at that point.
Yeah, it's gonna take somebody a long. I mean, it would take somebody a long time to penetrate an outer shell of somebody. You know what I mean?
Penetrate anything. I'm
penetrate,
saying.
penetrate anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, you know, there's just. It just you could just you
sense
see
it.
the writing on the wall sometimes with
yes,
people. You know,
you
they're
can
just
Yeah, like
smell
what
it
they.
a mile away.
Yeah,
and
what-
it's hard to remember that we're all addicts.
And
We're all addicts, and we all lied, stole. We had no morals.
manipulated.
We had
Yeah.
we had no. You know, we were low moral. We did anything and anything to fix ourselves, self-centered.
Yeah.
And some people, that stuff is deep. Like those negative morals and values and beliefs are deep seated, and they're still ugly in recovery.
Yeah.
Those are still ugly things.
Just because you're sober doesn't mean that you're a good person.
Right.
Sad but true.
No,
Yeah,
for
it's just
sure.
it's the work that you gotta put into yourself to have those good motives and good like morals and stuff. Because it's like for me, like I made it very well aware when I first started coming into these meetings. Because like before we all got on here again, when I was on here the first time, I was like I played group roulette. Where it's like I would go to groups and I'd see like what I liked about it, and most of the time it was just guys trying to hit on me that like are the same age as my dad, and I'm like, bro, I could be your daughter. Like this is weird. Like what the like because it's like so then when I first started coming here because I was comfortable with it and stuff, I made it very well clear.
Sorry, I was just reading Andrew's comment. I love it.
But I made it very clear to everybody. Like when I would speak, I would be like, I'm here for my recovery and my recovery here. Like that's it. Like that's all I'm here for. Is like I'm trying to find love for myself. I'm not trying to find love in the rooms from somebody else. And it's like, and that's the thing is like, my significant other like isn't in the rooms, and it's great because it's like the way he is. It's like that's just his lifestyle, and it's awesome because it's like I don't have to worry about something, and it's like there's things that he won't understand because he's never gone through that, but it's like he's willing to communicate that stuff. And it's just like, and even then it's like after I put up those boundaries, like there'd be those few guys that just like didn't care, and I'm like cool.
Yeah.
Like, and because there always will be those people, men and women. It's like
that don't respect those
yeah,
boundaries.
respect that boundary. And it's like, but I think when you're very vocal about it and you make it very clear that you're not here for that, like they distance themselves from you. And it's like, and I know there's some people in this, like, because of where we were and what we were talking about with the attention, people like that attention.
And some people, for anybody that kind of stuff's happening where people are, trying to jump into your DMs or anything like that, or they're trying to, all you have to do is let somebody know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
You can let anybody know, any
person.
You can let Paul know. You can let you can let anybody know.
Many times.
Anybody who you feel is serious about recovery, or your sponsor or anything, and I'm sure that we can. Or not
solve
we,
something
they,
or like make it more well known, like, hey man, like this person is not there for this, like because that's what I did for sure when I first started coming in here. I was just like, I'm not here for that, like because I've had like even in this room I've had guys like try to hit on me, and I'm like, I'm
of course you have.
And
I'm like nice at first, and as soon as they cross that line, I'm no longer. Like, I don't want to be nice anymore because now you're taking you've
taken the niceness out of this.
Me like wanting you or flirting with you, like. Okay, then I'll switch this up a bit and I'll be a bitch because then you don't think I like you. Like
it's weird that it takes like that type of rejection to get that.
Such a bitch.
So
right, like
well, and like I don't want that. I don't want that image, but I also don't want people to think that they can like
just take advantage of the fact of like that you're being kind to them, and that's not fair either.
Yeah. And that's that self-love again, though. So. I'll speak from my experience. So I didn't know. I let so many people cross my boundaries as I got deeper and deeper into my addiction. I stood firm. I set clear boundaries, so there was no questioning it. And that way, when they were crossed again, I could very blatantly say that it was a sign of disrespect that they crossed those boundaries.
Yeah.
And I will also say that I have been a huge advocate for women. There's other men out there too, but for women. If they ever feel uncomfortable, I am always available. I'm planning on being here every Friday night now at the center. Nice. So if there's something going on, you don't have to take that crap. If you don't know how to set boundaries, I'll set you up with Gracie. She will show you. She got me in line. If she can get that.
That's
to
why
work for me. It'll work for anyone. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Yeah. Miss Gracie was there all the time. Whenever somebody would be doing some weird stuff, she'd be like, "Don't you do that? That's my baby."
And I'll say, when I first got into recovery, I had somebody do the 13-step crap to me.
Yeah.
And it was devastating. And I was at a point where I was able to let it kind of just roll off, whatever. And I am probably rare in the fact that years later, I had that same individual come up and make amends to me when they saw me in a meeting for their behavior and what they did.
Yeah.
We don't all get that option, and people don't realize when you are showing predatory behavior in the rooms, a lot of us are raw individuals.
Yeah.
We are delicate freaking flowers.
Yeah.
We are trying to
Yes, I
work
am.
through our own crap.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We're all
Yeah.
delicate freaking beautiful flowers. And we need to be understanding that people might not be in the right emotional or mental state to be able to deal with that type of manipulation to try and treat people in that fashion, and you don't know what the outcome can be. Again,
Yeah.
that ripple effect runs deep. Just because you want some tail, well, that tail might have some issues based on those actions, and they might go back out there. They might make other poor choices. They might not be alive tomorrow.
Exactly, and that's
Thanks,
something that
Tim.
we have to be mindful for. Is like we always have to be mindful.
He smells good too. Nick's the most delicate, smelly, pretty flower.
I smell like gas.
I heard it
Mandy,
from his
what's
woman.
going on in the big room during Friday nights?
Oh, hey. So Tad and I will be here on Friday night after the 7 o'clock meeting is completed at 8. So while the podcast is going, we're going to have the big room open. We're going to have movies. People can hang out, play games, any of that fun stuff.
Especially 'cause it's
so
getting cold
safe,
out, too.
safe place to
Yeah.
go, right? Friday night, something to do.
I love that.
Good
That's
people.
a super good idea. Have you guys ever played Farkle?
Why do I feel like
It's the
I
dice
don't
game.
know.
Look, I'm gonna have to bring it. I really hope my people, Sarah, Tony, shout out, right? I love them. Oh my god, I know. I was thinking about that, but it's really fun. So I got a game.
Bring it. Bring it. I have like a really generic version of like Cards Against Humanity. It's called New Phone Who Dis.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about.
New phone, who dis?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Andrea.
It's
Yes,
great.
Andrea. 10,000. It's also called 10,000. It's
All right.
so fun. It's so fun.
All right. Let's
Andrea, you have to come a Friday night, please. We'll let you play in the corner by yourself.
She
if you want.
can't. She has hockey.
Oh, damn it. Maybe she'll stop by after hockey.
She's leaving, going out of town next
Okay,
weekend.
Andrea says every
Oh my
ex-tweaker
gosh,
knows
okay.
10,000. I might be the only ex-tweaker that doesn't, so sorry. You found it.
1,500 is shaky. That's my boy. Oh, I didn't even know he was watching. That's cool.
We do still play 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you
That's
have games,
foreplay.
and if
Oh,
you,
God.
if anybody wants to bring in games to play, anything like that, or if there's a specific movie, I was thinking that we could do the Die Hard movies leading up to Christmas every Friday night. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Bring in a new Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard
So-
is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas. That's what I'm saying. It's a great build up to the beautiful holiday that it is.
I have
so.
games at home that I can bring to you too. I can just text you what I got.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we can
Let's
play
do it.
spades.
You gotta teach me. I'm so like I don't know that.
You have to go to jail to learn how to play spades.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
did. I went to jail, but I
And you
was
did learn how to play spades?
I was in a cell by myself. They didn't let me out.
Did
Oh
you
my
really go to
God.
jail then?
I don't know. All I know is I wasn't allowed a pen or paper, and they got mad at me when I stole a book from the library because I was so bored.
Did you rock a pickle suit though?
Are you talking about like the turtle?
It's the suicide suit, really.
Yeah.
Like if you want
Turtle
to
suit.
hurt yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
haven't
the
you haven't
turtle
got
suit?
you haven't gotten the full accommodations
I got
at
that.
the
I
county
was
jail.
like, what are
Did
you
you?
talking about? Like,
Yeah,
turtle
coming
or
to in a pickle suit, it changes a person. Let me
When you
tell
go
you.
when you go in front of the judge,
Hey,
go in
but
front of the judge with the pickle suit
All I
on.
would say
I
though-
didn't have to do. I had to help a lady with her pickle suit when she was going to go see the judge because it kept falling off. I felt so bad for her.
Oh, see, I will say though, when I was in jail, that was the warmest I ever was with the.
With the pickle suit. So at least they're
I was
warm.
so cold, and I was like, "Can I get a blanket or a pillow?"
They don't
They
care.
said, "This isn't a hotel, princess."
You're
I
like,
said, "Well, I will not be coming back here ever again.
I will not.
I will not be checking in here again." Okay, and I checked in a few more
Yeah.
times.
Oh, one of the most humbling things
Dustin
for me.
said I've spent years incarceration and never been in a turtle suit. Well, you've never been in that mindset.
You didn't act psychotic enough in front of the staff
Basically,
because I
yeah.
definitely they chucked me in one. They acted like I was about to assassinate somebody the way
That's
they
what they
tackled
did.
me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They got mad at me.
All you got to
because-
do is wiggle the cuffs around to the front, and they just came swooping like 6 dudes, like 5 times my size, like knee in the neck. Anyway, sorry, that's a whole another story for another kind of show, I guess. But
I did not leave any good reviews for the jail, Tim. No, fuck them.
Yeah, no. All I know is when I go see my probation officer, all the officers that were in jail with me that were watching over me are so mad because they're so mad that I am doing so much better.
I know that's right.
I'm like, what? I was like, I'm not a criminal. I was like, I just make dumbass decisions because I was intoxicated. And I was like, so, you know, because that's what I think is also really big for people that are in recovery too. Is like, there's some people that they have the morals of like where they are a criminal, you know, that is for sure. And then there's some people that just are just so lost within themselves that they make those dumb decisions to like get into those places for sure. That was something for me. It was like, you know, nobody ever tends to go to jail. Like that's not anybody's intention of like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to jail. Like,
there's some people that don't
Oh,
know how
yeah.
to handle it outside of that, right?
I know.
Starting to get cold. There's some people that are
Yeah.
go on purpose.
Free meal. You get 3 meals a day. You get a bed.
No responsibilities.
Yeah. No bills.
All I had to do was just hang out, and then whatever I didn't eat, I just went to the toilet.
I used my sandwich as a pillow.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's about all I really wanted to use it for.
All I know is I took my grippy socks, or like my socks that they gave me in jail. I was just like, I'm gonna take these.
the most
I learned how to make a hair tie from the little bands on the socks. I was braiding bitches' hairs.
One of the most
See,
humbling-
y'all got like to talk to people. I just was by myself. They thought I was a danger to
Oh,
society. Because I was in an Amish town when I got arrested, so I was like a
You
walking
were
wood.
definitely a danger then to Amish people.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. Shout out all the Amish friends.
Yeah, but they're not on here. They don't use.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Well.
good. I was like, they don't use the internet.
They do. There's Amish TikTok. Look it up.
Maybe when they snuck a phone in. Okay, this is good.
Anyway.
I was like, this is
Yeah. Is it time to go?
Yes, it is. Okay, but I got a few shout outs to do. So,
Uh-oh.
What shout outs do we got?
We got some.
This was fun though. This is my first time on the podcast. I really had fun.
Yeah,
coming
it-
back,
Yeah, please
hey.
come back again, Paris. You were great.
Cool.
Just shout out to everybody who was commenting and was giving us questions. We appreciate that. Every day there's a meeting here at 2520 North 2nd Street. We'll work for recovery. Somebody said they had 4 years today, I think. Let's see. Where is it? Brian, I think. See, I never know unless I see their face. So.
Right.
Brian has 4 years, so
Wait.
congratulate Brian.
Tomorrow, but
Is that Brian?
Brian
I don't
Grassman.
know.
Tomorrow.
No. Is that my candy homie, Brian? I want him to send a comment.
Brandon, are you can or
Oh.
Brandon? Brian. Wait, let me do the applause because I know how to do it. Oh, and shout out Krista. She got 4 years today. Congratulations. Tim, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm learning. But yeah, and then there's I'm not super familiar with the meeting times at 2218, but
There's
you know
some meetings.
2218 always has meetings going on. The South Alano Club, give a shout out Blaine, Fridley, New Hope, Serenity Village. Shout out our people, you know what I'm saying? Against All Odd Ministries, thank you, Phil, for coming and joining us, and all of our active commenters.
Absolutely.
And American Pie Pizza for
Their pizzas.
blessing us with some pizzas.
Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
Don't forget to drop those hearts and likes and cares.
Yeah.
Share the stream. Share the
Sharing is
stream.
caring.
Share the stream.
Yeah, share.
We should get a share bear. Like
Share, comment, and
a
like.
Care Bear.
Yes.
Just sitting
Alright.
in the dark.
Maddie, shout out to Maddie. She's doing a swell job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you guys for just keeping it rolling with the questions too, if we can think of any.
Sarfin says
It's just a
thanks, Paris.
conversation, guys.
Of course. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
shout out Sarfin. She's been an active commenter tonight, so I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
she's all.
All right, guys.
Beautiful.
Let's end with.
Wait, Maddie, what are you
What are we gonna end
what are you
with?
grateful for?
I'm grateful
Yeah.
for. I'm really just grateful for just the opportunities like I've been given to grow in ways that I didn't really know I needed to grow in, and I'm grateful for all of my people, all of you guys. We work for recovery. I'm grateful for a lot. I could be on here forever, but sobriety and God, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm just grateful to see another day.
Hey,
That's
feel
all
that.
it is.
Oh, and I'm grateful for this warm-ish weather because
What are you talking?
it's been warmer than it usually is at this
Okay,
time,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like we don't have snow.
We're looking for that ice.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's
You
'cause
are.
fish.
Yes.
I was like, you are.
And I'm grateful for Tony.
I'm grateful for
Say that.
Tony. He's my biggest cheerleader right now.
Yes.
Can I be grateful for who's Tony, and can I be grateful for him too?
Of course. Tony is a
Beautiful.
wonderful person to be grateful for.
Yeah. Totally
Okay,
cool.
sweet.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for empty pockets today.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
saying. I know. I'm grateful for getting new opportunities to find a way to show up on a regular basis.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I suck at words, but yes, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for coming on the show, and
Yep.
appreciate that.
What are you grateful for, Nick? Huh?
I'm grateful for we'll work for recovery tonight for sure because
Yep.
I needed to get out of my head tonight. And this is a great opportunity to do it.
A great way to do it too.
So,
Yeah.
Grateful to get to chat with you.
Yeah, it was super
Hey.
fun.
So shout out Paul and Carolyn for starting this beautiful nonprofit. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't say what I was grateful for.
What are you grateful for? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just grateful to be able to spend my time with you guys. I was actually grateful that I took the time to just hang out after this meeting
Yeah.
because everybody knows I'm usually just gone and out. I'm like, bye, y'all.
She's home by
Yep.
8:05.
Yep. Yeah, Miss Gracie's even happy, but I'm grateful. Grateful for
Miss
my
Gracie ready to go
sponsor.
home.
I'm grateful for, this group. I'm grateful that I'm just alive another day, you know, because you don't know if tomorrow will ever be there. So it's just
Never
like,
promise.
Exactly. Just be grateful that you get to live. And it's like you get to breathe and you got legs that work, eyes that work, everything. It's like just be grateful for your vessel. So,
Truth.
Yes.
that's all I got.
Period. That's a
Period.
beautiful note to end on.
Yep.
All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Night night. The front is locked up.